too fast already. Pry. Oh, beautiful counter to the takedown. Thank you for joining us tonight.
A disadvantage was Zayef, but then he...
A little too much on Trixie. Nice shooting, good turning.
Watching on Twitch, watching on YouTube, watching from around the world tonight. I know the UFC isn't on right now, but guess what? The virtual octagon is here.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone in between, welcome to the new season of the ESFL, and we're taking things from undeniable to undisputed. I am your host and commentator for the evening, Kingsley, and alongside me is the OG himself, Bruce Lee. Rob, how are you doing today, man?
We're doing pretty good, Kingsley. How you doing, everybody? It's another ESFL broadcast. You know, I'm excited. I'm ready to go to kick off this undisputed season. Not UFC, but some boxing tonight, huh, Kingsley? Let's get it.
Yeah, our first ever time with Undisputed going to the new season. We had a bunch of exhibition cards, but this time it's for real. And for this fight card, we have 8 amazing fights here, ladies and gentlemen, to kick off the regular season. We have Wordlife versus BoneDoinWork, Addict 85 versus Talon, King Diaz versus Royzen, EyeGameYouWatch versus WokeSportsFan, KYoungButta versus Lasso, JMMA versus Pablo Grips, and then the co-main event, FightNightsFinest versus Joooobe, and then the main event here, Rob, Pryoxis versus Jshep. Both guys looking to be on the first step to get that new title. But all of these fights that you see here, Rob, what are you excited for the most for this regular season?
I'm excited to see how these ESFL veterans are going to come in here and face these newcomers, these fresh blood. You got these TikTok stars like EyeGameYouWatch. You got KYoungButta coming back after just performing so well, Kingsley, back in the past in the ESFL live event. You just have so many names with some old names. Like, who's going to showcase their abilities? Who's going to come forward and just dominate in the boxing scene? And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing is these dynamic shows.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is the regular season. We're going to have 7 weeks of high octane undisputed action. And along that, we have a couple of rules. It's going to be 16 players. The top 8 will go to the playoffs in the regular season after that. And then with our rule set, we're going to have 1.5 damage, 1.5 stamina. If you get a win, you get 2 points. If you get a crazy knockout finish, you get an extra point and a total of 3 points. So a lot of things could be in play for the point status. And then along with this, Rob, we're going to be looking out for KOs to get a little bit of a bonus. And then, as always, at the end of the night, we're going to be looking for fight of the night. So leave your comments down below. Which fight do you think is going to be fight of the night? But Rob, how excited for you to see which fight could be fight of the night right here?
I am tremendously excited, Kingsley. I cannot wait. You know, these rules and the format is going to instigate more pressure, instigate more knockouts, and hopefully there's going to be just fireworks in the ring. I was going to say the octagon, but no, the ring tonight. So yeah, I can't wait to see how these guys perform.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a transition for us. But again, this is something that we are been so excited for. It's been a long time coming, and we're ready to get the regular season started with a little bit of a bigger. And speaking of going from the octagon to the ring, our first fight is going to be featuring 2 ESFL vets from the octagon, from the UFC side, going to the first contest. And it's going to be BoneDoinWork versus Wordlife. And you can see the choices that we see here in the pre-screen. Josh Taylor versus Amir Khan. When you think about these 2 vets, what do you think of when it comes to the first ever fight in the undisputed season?
You know, I know Amir Khan is pretty new. He's got a little bit of a sussy chin, but he's got a 92 jab. My boy Feke was telling me in the back when we had our pre-meeting, so watch out for that power jab. But, you know, Wordlife is somebody that always had really good striking in UFC games, so I know he's going to transition very well. I can't wait to see his strategy. But BoneDoinWork also an ESFL veteran, Kingsley. So both these guys, with that Josh Taylor pick, you know, I don't know too much about Josh Taylor. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about this guy.
Oh man, Josh Taylor. I mean, when you see his body of work, you can expect all around boxer with his
Ooh,
situation. Especially with Bone doing work, we see him in the exhibition cards coming off his last performance. He's very excited to showcase himself. You know that his last performance he won in the last boxing game. He's been showing and shining in MMA, but he wants to never stop focusing on his boxing. So we're gonna try to see what he has to Josh Taylor. He's gonna try to implement that in this situation. I mean, you're in the first fight of the undisputed season. You're in the first fight in ESFL history in the undisputed season. So only big happy. Amir Khan, as you said, the jabs, 92 rating jab that he has right there. There's a lot of stipulations that you have in the ESFL rule book, but unfortunately, we're not gonna get into the fights just yet. But when you think about undisputed here, Rob, it's a brand new game. It's not like UFC 4 where you're gonna stick to like the button pressing or the power shots. You have to go more of the analog shooting to get a little bit more fluidity. So, what are you expecting from people going from UFC 4 to going to undisputed?
I'm expecting them not to go for the takedown, not to break people's arms off, not to get chokes. You know, they're
No
going to stand
submissions
their
or anything,
ground.
just like no arm bars or
Yeah,
just
you know, none of that. None of that. And, you know, I'm pretty sure that adrenaline system plays a bigger factor as well. You can't just, you know, run forward and block break your opponent. Maybe you got to be a little bit more strategic out there. And I know that you interviewed some of these fighters, and coming off the last performance, you asked, I believe, BoneDoinWork, and he said he's very excited to showcase himself. His last performance,
Mhm.
he won in the boxing game, and since then he's been shining in MMA, but now he's focused on boxing. He's ready to showcase his talent. What did you get from talking to him? Is he coming with confidence, Kingsley?
Yeah, he's definitely coming with confidence. And I had a little bit of conversations with our fighters before this event. And then along
Mm,
with his tone and where he was coming from his last performance, he said that he's predicting knockout. So he wants to get that extra bonus point that's in
yeah.
this well new season. And at least for him, he's always looking to go for the kill. So with Bone doing work here, when he had Josh Taylor, he wants to go for knockout power. He wants to go more into a sprint more than a marathon. Because we know from UFC, you usually have like 5 round fights, 3 round fights. This is a 10 round war, a marathon. And we know that judges could be a little bit shaky. So usually you want to see people not go for the point fighting, go for the jabs, trying to score points like a little bit of fancy. You want to see clean knockouts as soon as possible. And we've seen before that it's possible in the UFC, but could it be possible in Undisputed?
Yeah, you know, we don't want to see no cheese. If I wanted cheese, I'd
Mm,
call my grandma, I'd get a grilled cheese sandwich, I'd eat
get a
that.
little
We
bit of
want
Gouda.
some, yeah, some Gouda. We want to see some high level strategy at play here. You know, we want to see the competitors bringing it out here tonight, because that's what the Esports Fight League is about, Kingsley, right? Bringing it, bringing the heat. That's why, you know, I got to come wear the sunscreen before I start the show, because it gets a little hot in here sometimes, Kingsley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and along with that, the spotlight gets ever so brighter because with along with the new game, there's a lot of more expectations. We don't know what the full meta is going to be throughout the season. We might get a new patch mid-season. There's a lot of strategies that could be in play, and this first week is where we're all going to test out. But along with that, along with the transition of going to this new season with the 10 rounds, usually what we don't see in the UFC games is like we get total strike punches, total strikes landed. You don't really know what the judges are thinking. With this, you can see around 4 or round 7 what the copy box, the predictions of what the judges are going to go with. So how is that going to be in play in the mindset of these players? Because not only are they going to see their opponent, they're going to see the judges' scorecards, and that might totally affect their entire game plan, especially with BoneDoinWork and Wordlife being veterans of the ESFL scene.
Yeah, it's very true. Open scoring is definitely something that's going to change the dynamic of the fight, and I believe it's like a random judge, or maybe they just follow one judge, and then you kind of look at that, and it affects your mental. You're thinking, "Oh my goodness, I'm down or I'm up." So it's pretty good. Looks like they're just trying to make a lobby, and we'll be right. We'll be jumping into this fight soon, ladies and gentlemen. But Kingsley, I mean, when's the last time you've played this game? It's been a long time for
Oh
me. I
man.
know the state of the game, they're trying to figure out how to get it to a good level, but right now it's still kind of you got those weird combos with the body uppercuts and the body
Yeah.
shots, and it gets kind of messy in there sometimes.
Yeah, it gets a little bit messy. I will say I remember playing in the beginning, and that was like a whole lot of fun. It was like fun because I was always a fan of like Fight Nights and like Knockout Kings back in the day with EA, but with Undisputed, it kind of gave me that similar feeling. So going back to like the analog striking, it really felt more at home. And I was excited to see like some of the fighters that we had. I mean, you had Deontay Wilder, you had Tyson Fury, you had Canelo, you had Sugar Ray Robinson and Leonard, who were like the main meta pick going to the beginning. But once I started like playing a little bit more throughout the months, I've seen you know, I love like trying out like different divisions. So like middleweight I try to use, or the women's division. I love using Katie Taylor whenever I can, even though the queue times are a little bit long. But it was interesting to see how the progression was of the game. I don't think it's like up to where we want it fully, but it's still early access, so hopefully we don't see any like ghost punches or any crazy things. But I think we're getting word from the bag while I'm going on this whole soliloquy that we're gonna be skipping the first fight and going to our second fight, which is another big one. Addict 85 going against Talon, two guys that we've seen before in Talon in the ESFL and the exhibition cards, but Addict 85 making his debut going to his card right here, Rob.
Addict versus Talon. Okay, so these two are former esports fight league fighters. Kingsley, is this right?
Talon is. I think Addict's making his debut. He was a part of a different organization, but he knows how big it is to be in the ESFL, and he's ready to show what his attributes are. Like all the work he's done in other leagues, he wants to show in a big showcase like this one.
Beautiful. Well, we'll see what he brings to the table. Possibly a Joe Louis selection here for Uncle Talent.
And then Addict going with a Tommy Morrison, taking it back to like Rocky 5 a little bit. We know like he was in Rocky 5 and also like a very high caliber boxer, but the fact that he's using it going into the heavyweight division, it's not like what we see in UFC 4, where if you go with a heavyweight, your punches get slower and like you don't feel like you're in quicksand a little bit. You still have like the same amount of speed that you would have in any kind of boxers in this type of situation here, Rob.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think Tommy Morrison might be a newer pick. I don't remember him when I was playing the game, but Joe Louis is so quick, so fast. His stamina is for days. I remember just being able to throw so many good punches and just outlast my opponent. So we'll see if he employs that strategy. But I'm excited to finally see a fight. Let's go.
Yeah, here we go. Enough talking, even though we're going to talk a little bit more. We're getting into some action. The regular season is just about to kick off. Again, Tommy Morrison, along with the commentary, hoping we could turn that off a little bit so we don't get all crazy. But Joe Louis being used by Talon, very interested to see what he does. But Tommy Morrison being used by Addict 85, he's been known to do content on YouTube on Undisputed Games. So let's see if we can use that content creation, his habits, into this round, because here we go. The referee is getting everything situated. This is our first fight of the Undisputed season here live at ESFL. I am your host, Kingsley. Alongside me is Rob. Let's get this thing going. And already we're seeing a little bit of a filling out process in the few couple of seconds. Not really as much as like a spamming of strikes that we're seeing so far.
Yeah, just coming in, getting a little feel out. There's a nice body shot from Uncle Town. He's just kind of bouncing around. Kingsley just getting his range, getting his rhythm, but Tommy Morrison throwing some hooks.
Yeah, he's throwing some hooks, but right now you see he's trying to go to his opponent to initiating the strike first, trying to be more reactive. A nice 1-2 combo to the body, trying to mix it up, and good stuff from Addict so far, but gets hit with a counter, and that's gonna be big. What can you do when you land your combos? Can you avoid getting that counter shot after you land a couple of strikes to your opponent?
Yeah, you got to be careful. The head movement, it really deploys a nice counter system. Ooh, the body shot again, that left body uppercut. And that's the shot that's very OP in this game, right? That left body uppercut, that right body uppercut, and he's already employing Uncle Talon go to the body early.
Yeah, he needs to be very careful of use of that body uppercut, because you know we put a limit on how many times you can do it. So he needs to pick his shots as much as he can. And so far he's doing it with a nice left hook. He is getting some nice shots, but a nice straight from Tommy Morrison at 85 is able to answer the back with 1 minute left in the round.
You're seeing that stationary head movement. They're trying to get that rhythm. The counter punching is there, Kingsley. But yeah, the power shots, the straight, the piston from Tommy Morrison. And look, the hook. They're exchanging. Yeah,
they are exchanging. You got to figure out what the distance is going to be for both of your fighters. Right now, good evasion of the uppercut right there. And so far, Tommy Morrison taking more of the inside of the ring right here. Getting a little bit of distance. Nice using the lean back, trying to avoid all of these strikes right here. And so far, Talon with 10 seconds left gets a nice straight onto the face of Tommy Morrison. Addict is trying to find a way to get the power shots landing, but with 3 seconds left, that will be the end of the first round. And so far, a little bit of a filling out process. We'll have to see what happens in the second round right here.
Yeah, that was a good round. You saw Uncle Talon with a couple good lead body uppercuts. You saw Addict straight sniper to the face, you know, a chin check. But then you saw Uncle Talon too, Kingsley, throwing that nice jab straight out there too. So both guys feeling each other out. I don't know who won that round, but very close, Kingsley. Who we giving it to, Kingsley?
You know, I feel like you have to give it to Talon a little bit. He had a little bit of the straights, a little bit of the counter punching, but this is what Addict 85's game plan is going to be. When I talked to him before, he said, what are you expecting from Talon going into this matchup? It's like the first couple of rounds, I'm going to try to figure out his strategy, use a couple of rounds to like try to see what he's going to go for, see if he flinches, see if he tries to react to anything. Right now, he's just trying to gather data so he can download his opponent. But right now, you can see him being a little bit more active with his punches and landing nicely to the body, but going back to the body. And now we're just finding a phone booth right here, Rob.
Yeah, and you're seeing kind of Addict pop out that jab, kind of moving to his left. At the beginning of the round, Uncle Talon's coming with some pressure, but the side steps from Mr. Addict is giving maybe Talon some problems here. Ooh, going in the body with the jab as well, Kingsley.
Yeah, so far so good. Already halfway through the second round of 10 rounds that we hear so far. And Talon, you know, he wants to be a little bit more active. He wants to know that he's here to box his show in the big spotlight right here. But a punch like that, Addict 85 misses and uses a little bit of his stamina. And this is what Talon wants to do. He wants to go his opponent in. He wants to attack the body a little bit more, mix it up, and make sure he gets a little bit more reactive in his striking right here, Rob.
Most definitely. And you're seeing the power straight coming out from Uncle Talon now. Addict also trying to respond by targeting that body. Neither man really doing a lot of, what is that? Is there a motorcycle in the audience? I'm not sure, but here we go.
Yeah, that's the action. It's kind of hot and heavy outside and inside the ring. A lot of things happening. But with Talon right here, with less than 25 seconds left to go in the second round right here, you can see he's trying to circle his opponent and trying to cut the ring off and trying to find his way into the opponent's body. But so far, Addict keeping his wits about him, trying to get some jabs working, trying to open up his opponent a little bit, but not really going to effect. And let's see in these final seconds. And now we're just going a little bit of raw, but that's the end of the second round. Now going back to Talon, what he said about his opponent Addict, he saw his play style, and he's not fully worried. If anything, he should be worried about me, Talon said. He's been fighting at the top in this game in day one. He's 2-0 in the ESFL and plans on making it 3-0. So far, Talon wants to make sure that he stays undefeated going against Addict right here.
And it seems like Talon is doing everything that he said he was going to do. You know, he's winning these rounds, I believe, maybe finding his mark just a little bit more than Addict. Addict landing some good shots to the body, but the movement right here from Uncle Talon, he's moving very well, using those lunges in and out to make Tommy miss. You can't see the stamina on Uncle Talon, Kingsley, but we got to assume he's ahead with Joe Louis.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, so far, so good. The striking hasn't been plentiful, but it's been efficient with both of these guys. And so far, you see the back step from Talon right there, taking more of the center of the ring, while we see Addict try to be more of an outside fighter, trying to get a little bit of combination. Both guys trading in the pocket right there. And so far, Addict, again, a nice power shot to the body, and that's what you're going to need to do. Even though you want to attack the face and try to go head hunting, you need to make sure you change your levels up a little bit, but not get countered. So many times you go for the trade, you get countered very easily in their route.
Yeah, you got to be careful of that counter, and Tommy, aka Addict's got to be careful because he's kind of unloading all of his stamina early in that round, and that's when you're susceptible to a knockout. That's when you're susceptible to a flash. And he's got to be very careful. Big swing and a miss there, and Uncle Talon starting to put some pressure on. He senses some danger.
Yeah, and that's what Talon was looking for. He was saying he saw his playstyle and he wasn't worried. While Addict 85 going for these power shots, you saw how big of a chunk that stamina bar just depleted after going for a huge power hook and just completely whip. Now, if you were in this situation, again, this is round 3 out of 10. Would you try to go for all of these power shots from the get-go, try to get a knockout?
Yeah, you might need to mix one up, you know, but Addict so far has missed completely with these big power shots, and that power jab though buckles him a little bit, but Uncle Talon still hanging in there, putting that pressure with the jab.
Ooh, it's getting close to the wire, and that will be the end of the third round right there. So far, it seems what Talon is doing, he's waiting for the power shots, and then he's going in for his combos. We see that Addict 85, he's attacking the body. He's having success of going to the body, but every time he goes for the head and tries to go for those power shots, he's kind of whiffing a lot more. And by the way he's going through his rounds, it seems like by the time he has enough stamina for the later rounds, it's not going to be as much as Talon going to these couple of rounds.
Yeah, you got to think his stamina looks a little bit low. He's been chin checked a few times. And on the judges' scorecards down there, it seems like they're giving it to Addict 29-28. Talon's going to have his eyes on that. He's not going to like that. Maybe a little bit more pressure around number 4.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how the strategy is adapted for Talon right here. You saw that he's down 2 rounds to 1 in the KYoungButta's predictions. But so far, Addict, his game plan, even though we see him whipping on his power shots, he is connecting when it matters, and that has proven very nice. And see, you left the left cut for the head of Addict. That has to be something he needs to be careful of, because if Talon gets a notice of that, he can just target that and just worsen that cut even further.
Yeah, and you got to watch out with those cuts, because that will end the fight. And a lot of head movement from both of these guys. Uncle Talon moving well, coming forward, but Addict trying to find his distance, kind of backing up and then coming in with the attack, jabbing and stabbing.
Jabbing, stabbing, these combinations are working, but a left hook right there from Talon will do some damage. And now every time they go into the phone booth, what is going to be the avenue? Who's going to make the first whiff and go for these combinations? Right now you see just both guys just being very patient in the pocket, trying to go for these jabs. So far, I'm liking the jab work from Matic, and Talon is going more of the straight, but so far, who's going to attack the body, trying to open up that head a little bit more with 1 minute to go?
Addict is moving well this round, and it seems like, looking at that scoreboard, maybe Uncle Talon got in his own head a little bit, because he's fighting a little bit different, a little bit more stagnant. Look at that body shot again from Addict, kind of turning up this round, landing ferociously.
Yeah, that's the thing. He was trying to gather some data for his opponent. You can see a little bit of the blood on the chest of Tommy Morrison right there, so you know he's a little bit fucked up more than the 3rd round and here in the 4th round. But he's getting some combinations, he's getting some counters, and it's working really well. More he goes into the phone booth, he's connecting very well. So with the 5th round approaching, this is where he needs to figure out what is he gonna do more. But a whip like that, trying to go for something big, not really connecting. But again, back and forth so far as we go to the 5th round.
Yeah, it is very back and forth since the beginning of this fight, but you're seeing as the rounds progress here, Kingsley, it's the Addict that's taking more risks. Even towards the end of that round, you're seeing him swing and miss with a big left hook, and you see his whole stamina bank deplete, and it gets a little scary. But just wait till the end of the round, so he's being a little bit more wild out there, and it could be paying dividends here. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll have to see a high risk, high reward. You want to get the knockout for the extra point, and with these counter shots to the body, into the head, it will work dividends. But so far, I'm liking what Talon's doing. Every time he gets it a little bit close, he is not even moving back fully. He's going to the side, trying to disrupt the timing of the hooks a little bit. But Talon, he needs to get some striking going. But so far, we're seeing Addict 85. Now he's feeling like he's getting to a rhythm. He's using straights. He's taking his time, attacking the body to open up his combinations a little bit. This has to be working so well, but again, counters like that will change the whole script right here, Rob.
Yeah, Uncle Talon with a beautiful power straight punch, and that whole round, Addict was just really keeping him at bay with that body jab, the jab to the face, and he's really just point finding them, trying to move. But that body shot from Uncle Talon is doing wonders here. You know, both guys are just bouncing around here. 1 minute, 30 seconds to go. This round is up for grabs still.
Yeah, still up for grabs. And right now, trying to go for a power shot. That depleted a lot of the stamina right there. Not a Talon trying to punish his opponent for going super crazy. Still taking his time to get his combinations going. But so far, we're seeing Addict take more of the inside of the ring. Seeing Talon become more of an outside fighter a little bit. Not really going head hunting as much as he did before.
Indeed, indeed. And I'm wondering when Uncle Talon's going to take advantage of these moments where Addict has completely depleted his stamina and he's so vulnerable, but I don't know if he's not keying in on it. And Addict still in round number 5, fighting pretty well.
Yeah, he's fighting pretty well. His stamina has to be a little bit higher because he hasn't been using as many power shots as Addict 85. But Addict 85, he's been scoring. He's been able to use the jabs in his combinations towards the body to score some points. And right there, with the combinations right there, he had the straight, he had the body shot. That will count. And I think more so, what's the underlining game plan of Addict 85 is as long as he's going for these power shots to the head, he's connecting with the body shots to the body. I think that's proven like a big change in the scoring of this whole fight.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. The body shots, it's there for him, and he's constantly going to it, the straight to the body, the jab to the body. It's like very accurate. But I gotta say, I still think Uncle Talon has the lead in the stamina. I think Tomny's taking more risks. He's throwing more looping punches, and he's missed, and that's gonna sap. And he's throwing a lot when his stamina is low. So I think he's gassing himself out, but we'll find out round number 6.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. Next round, we're going to get another predictions from our CompuBox predictions to see where both fighters are. So we'll have to see. This is a very key round for both of these guys to win. You don't want to leave it up to judges. You want to get the knockout, but you never know what's going to happen. But so far, Addict going into the phone booth, trying to land the hooks, being a little bit impatient, working the body a little bit, trying to find his distance, while Talon moving forward a little bit, trying to take his time to find the perfect opportunity to land that crushing blow. But so far, not really getting any avenues to strike cleanly against his opponent.
A lot of moving around, a lot of bouncing around, and you're seeing Addict now getting a little bit more active with the jab. Oh, the straight as well. Good stuff so far here. Round number 6 from Addict.
Yeah, and this is such a great game plan for Addict in the 6th round right here. You see him, every time he moves around, he stands still and waits for his opponent to come in, and then he just hits him with a jab or a straight or towards the body. So it seems like he's suckering him in, and then you see again, a body shot lands very nicely, and he's able to get out of it. So every time he's moving, staying still, he's waiting for his opponent to come in, and then he just gives a little pot shot, and then when he sees opening, he's going for those combinations.
Yeah, he's trying to keep his guard up, letting him come in, and then just popping him every time he comes towards him. And Uncle Talon needs to make an adjustment because he's kind of just walking into these shots now.
Yeah, every time he gives up one shot, he's usually getting hit with like a 2 or 3 shots with a nice combination right there. You just saw perfectly. Every time he comes in, 1, 2, hits the face, and now you're feeling Addict. He's getting into a little bit of rhythm. Had a nice combination for those shots. But a good counter left hook landing. And with 3 seconds left in the 6th round, going to the 7th, Addict putting on his show, but Talon still getting some shots in.
Talon getting some big shots in. That left hook was money right there in round number 6. At the end of the fight, you're seeing both guys kind of put their pedal to the metal, but right there, Uncle Talon maybe possibly stealing the round. I mean, that was the best shot of that round, in my opinion. But at the beginning, Kingsley, it seemed like maybe Tommy Morrison, took that round. But there it is, 58-56 so far.
As you said, Rob, in that last counter shot, that was the best shot, and he took that round. But the past 3 rounds after that, before that, we saw Addict 85 landing cleanly and able to get those rounds. So far, 2 rounds up compared to Talon. Now with these last 4 rounds, including with round 7 currently, this is where Talon needs to turn it up. He needs to know that he's down the scorecards. He needs to get a knockout finish. But again, Addict 85 spent so much capital, so much stamina in those ongoing rounds. Now he's using these power shots. Can Talon take advantage with his stamina and work on his opponent to drain more of Addict 85 stamina?
Yeah, I think so. Addict running out of gas. You see another power straight. The return, though, from Talon. Talon starting to stand in his face. I mean, he's been pressuring him the whole fight, but Addict's been doing a good job getting out of the way. Now they're exchanging in the middle. Labored shots from Addict, though, up close.
And this is where it gets scary. You think you will put your opponent down, or at least get a knockdown to guarantee a round for you, even though he's doing so well. Now Talon, if he has as much stamina as I think he does, this is where you need to capitalize. This is where you start to turn the tide of the fight. This is a war of attrition. You need to find a way to get your combinations going. You can move around. You can wait for the big strikes like right here. The stamina is low for Addict 85. He needs to capitalize and get some straights in.
I couldn't agree more. Addict's got to be careful. His stamina is very low. It's dwindling right before our eyes. And you're seeing Uncle Talon just kind of coming forward, Kingsley, and just holding that block high and just being like, yep, I see you gassing, I see you gassing. But when is he going to pull the trigger and start making them pay?
Yeah, we'll have to see. Oh, he makes him pay right there on cue as he heard the commentators. But Talon, with 7 seconds to go, he wants to turn it up a little bit. But you see Addict 85 not going super aggressive, knowing that it's getting closer to round. Going to the 8th round, Addict had some chances, but you see the left cut, it's 2 bars full. The doctor might need to check on his fighter to see what's going to be happening. But this is Talon. He has an avenue. He has a chance to come back into this fight.
Definitely. It's still up in the air, but I think Uncle Talon is starting to take these later rounds. Addict is running out of gas here. He hasn't been the most economic with it. And here comes Uncle Talon right off the bat. Power shots being thrown in round number 8.
I think we're just ready for a brawl here, ladies and gentlemen. Round 8 right here. You see Addict85, nice, able to land that straight onto his opponent. But now what can Talon do? He is moving forward. He's trying to cut the ring up. He's attacking the body right here. That's going to be big because he knows the stamina has to be low for his opponent, going for all these power shots. He's trying to get close. He's trying to... I see what Talon's trying to do. He's trying to come in and go standing still and going for a hook. But every time he goes for a hook, Addict is just in the right time, moving back, avoiding his opponent. And this is what he kind of needs to do to avoid getting hit very crazily with some combinations.
Oh, big shot again. Uncle Talon in these later rounds, finding his mark brilliantly. And there is Addict trying to fight him off, trying to keep this monster Joe Louis at bay with the jab, doing well. But my goodness, round number 8, Uncle Talon on fire.
Yeah, he is on fire, and again, there's still plenty of rounds to play with. He has an opportunity, and Morrison, his stamina is less than 50. You have to think, even though he's landing some good shots, but covering up, oh, and a big whip right there, trying to go for a body uppercut, gets hit with a nice counter, and this is perfect. Talon is working. He's getting some combinations flowing. This is what he needs to do in this contest right here. Oh, and a vicious, a little bit of rock situation. Now he has to catch up to his opponent. Talon, smelling blood in the water with 30 seconds. He still has an opportunity to land some strikes here, Rob.
Yeah, wobbles Addict a little bit. He rocked him in that last round. This time he detonates on him, and Tommy Morrison, aka Addict, is running out of gas here. He's trying to move his head well, but the power punches from Uncle Talon landing ferociously in round number 8.
Oh man, now this has become a cat and mouse situation. Addict85 put all his capital in the early rounds, and now he got hit with a rock. And with round 9 coming up, we still have round 10. So 2 more rounds for Talon to do something. Who knows how the scorecards are going to be? This could be all tied up for far as we know here, Rob.
It definitely could. It definitely could. I think another round goes in the favor of Uncle Talon there. Could be 58, 57, depending on how you're judging this fight. There's still 2 rounds left, but Addict is very low on the stamina. You're going to see Uncle Talon come forward and try to do and inflict a lot of damage here.
Yeah, and what is Addict85's game plan? He knows he can't keep up the same energy that he had in the beginning of the fight. Now he needs to play a little bit of point fighting, but he's getting hit with counters, while Uncle Talon, he's just putting the fear to his opponent, trying to say, you know, I could attack you here. When I'm back up, I'm going to make you think about everything that I could possibly do. But once he sees his opponent commit to a shot, can he counter and punish his opponent? So far, he's kind of rigged. This is the excellent game plan, excellent movement from Talon. Cutting off the ring, trying to get his opponent to the ropes, and now he can pinpoint his opponent, so knowing that he can't move back as much.
Yeah, and Addict is breathing very heavy here, and Uncle Talon is being so patient at the beginning of these rounds, kind of getting his flow, getting his rhythm, letting Addict gas out even more, and then he comes in and throws these bombs, and you're seeing the pressure here at the midpoint of this round, Kingsley. He is stalking Addict.
Yeah, you have to think he's trying to set up capital for the last round, because we know this is going to round 10, but so far Uncle taking his time. He has 1 minute to work. He has 1 minute to get some strikes, and he gets a nice jab for his troubles. Working on the block. The block has to be low. Getting some nice counters. Talon feeling confident, using his movement very well, while Addict85 trying to survive, trying to find his way to get back to make sure he backs off his opponent. But now we're getting with a nice body shot right there, able to lean away from the combinations, able to get some. But with 27 seconds, you have to think Talon needs to go forward.
He does, and those body shots are crippling, but Addict moving pretty well, trying to stay out of the danger zone, trying to just stay alive here in round number 9. But another big round, I believe, for Uncle Talon. I don't know though, did he do enough? I mean, this round was pretty close.
Ooh, this is where it gets real scary. Addict85, we know that he was working so well, but you see the stamina, how pretty much similar, 33 and 34, with your left head being cut with 2 bars and the head health not being as well. Well, barely a scratch on Uncle Talon, not really getting affected as much. This is the last final round. You need to put the kitchen sink into the ring and go for it, Uncle Talon. And right there, you see 87 to 84. Uncle Talon needs a finish in this round to take this whole thing.
Yeah, he does. He's got the tools. He's got the ability. I believe he's got the stamina as well. He just has to find a way to land something big here. And Addict, seeing that judge's scorecard, is going to just keep moving around, doing what he's doing. Stay loose like a goose and just try to get to the end of this fight.
Yeah, and Rob, going to you, if you were playing this situation, if you were Talon, knowing that you had to go for everything, do you try to like take one to get one, or are you trying to fully stay within your game plan right here?
It's a hard one because, you know, if you put yourself in a danger zone, you could get blitzed and you could get knocked out, but you are down. You got to switch up something. You got to just go for it. And in this game, it's hard because you could move out of the way. You could defend yourself. And sometimes it's hard to get close to your opponent and trap them, but you got to go for broke.
Yeah, he's got to go for broke, but we saw Addict 85 landed on the body, able to bring his opponent a little bit back a little bit. And so far, Addict 85 playing a little bit of cat and mouse game, playing more of the outside fighter situation. Talon trying to move forward, but every time he moves, Addict is moving just far away, and he can't really cut the ring off. And with 1 minute to go, trying to attack the body, gets a nice counter with the jab. Talon moving forward. He knows that this is his last couple of seconds, his last couple of moments in this regular season debut. What can he do possibly to bring it back here, Rob?
Uncle Talon all over him, but you're starting to see Uncle Talon slow down in this 12th round. So both guys very tired, throwing big body shots. You're seeing the head snap back. Uncle Talon is trying to throw these power shots, but they're both just so fatigued at this point. I think this is going to go to the judge's decision. I think Addict is going to take it.
Yeah, with 10 seconds left, you need to put everything on the line, and it seems like he's not going to have enough time with Tommy Morrison. Addict 85 to the bell with barely any stamina. Will it go to his decision? It will! Addict 85 putting a lot of capital in the early rounds, able to seal the deal and get the first ever victory of the ESFL Undisputed regular season.
Congratulations to Addict. Came in with a nice little game plan. And that was a dangerous Uncle Talon. And look at those beginning rounds. I mean, only one judge gave the second round to Addict, and he really did his work early in this fight, didn't he?
Yeah, he did a lot of his work, and you can see the power punches, 47% in favor of Addict 85, using a lot of that, and it was very close percentage-wise, 47 to 42 until the strikes landed. The jabs working really well for Addict 85, using that to go back to his ability, and so far for Talon, he had an opportunity. That's what you want to see in the undisputed matches. You don't want to see people turning up and trying to find their way to just get a victory. Both guys were still trying to go after it. At 85, he was still trying to cling on to the victory. I think when he had that rock in the middle rounds, I feel like that changed it up everything, because I felt like if he didn't have that rock, he would have kept with the same consistency. But with that rock, it kind of got him a little bit scared of his victory being in jeopardy.
Yeah, it was definitely Talon that was landing the bigger shots, in my opinion. I think he had the bigger moments in the fight, but the longevity, the onslaught from Addict, just able to, you know, he was moving very well left and right, moving his head very well, and he was also sniping that body with the jab and just coming with some good stuff throughout that whole fight. And very impressed. Addict somehow taming Uncle Talon. I mean, Uncle Talon is a beast, so I mean, what a beautiful way to start off this fight. And are we going to fight number one that we were going to watch earlier? And they're okay, yeah, let's go. Yeah. Wordlife versus BoneDoinWork. Get to see this one, Kingsley. Let's go. Let's kick it off.
So yeah, we're just doing a little bit of time travel. We're reversing the clock a little bit. What you seen was the first fight, but now we're going to the actual first fight, as BoneDoinWork and Wordlife are both in the fire selection screen. Again, Josh Taylor and American for both of their selected fighters. We saw in the first fight that a lot of things could change. Do you want to put a lot of stock in the first couple of rounds, so you want to build up a lead to make sure you had later rounds to try to survive? Or do you want to play out a strategy where you play as a marathon? We'll have to see. We saw a little bit of a tidbit in that first fight. Will we see the same consistency going to the second fight of BoneDoinWork versus Wordlife?
Yeah, this is going to be a really exciting fight. You don't want to miss this one, guys. This is at the beginning of the card, but these two are super talented, and I'm very curious to see how Wordlife performs, because he's always been a really good boxer in UFC games. So I know he's going to bring the heat, and he's going to give you a treat, and he's going to get Kingsley on his feet.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see. I'll probably lose my voice. I'm waiting for a moment where I lose my voice, because we're in a big arena right here in the screen as we see. But again, make sure you leave your predictions. Who do you think is going to win this fight? Also, we have the knockout bonus, the fight night bonus. All those things are coming ahead later in the night. But again, BoneDoinWork, they're known to put on exciting fights in the UFC side. They know what to do in the big spotlight of the ESFL. We'll have to see. In the big arena, you can't go any wrong with this, Rob. It's going to be such a big showing for both of these guys.
Yes, it is. There's Josh Taylor from Scotland, I believe.
Yes. Bonus points.
And, here we
extra
go. Bonus bucks, baby. Let's go. I'm buying something cool after this show. And here comes Amir Khan, newer pick. Watch the chin, though, huh? Watch the chin.
Yeah, you got to watch out. You can't take as much damage as you saw in the first fight with the heavyweights. Amir Khan being used by Wordlife in the blue corner, while Josh Taylor is being used by BoneDoinWork in the red corner. And right now, we're seeing a nice little counters, little combinations coming in, a little bit of faster speed for what we saw from the heavyweight division. And so far, BoneDoinWork taking his time, trying to go to his opponent, trying to work that jab a little bit, trying to land the hooks. But phone fighting-wise, Amir Khan, you know, he can't afford to use these trades. And a nice uppercut landing. BoneDoinWork getting advantage of these early on striking situations right here, Rob.
Couple good shots there by BoneDoinWork, and you're seeing Wordlife immediately as the fight started. He took the center of the ring, and he's kind of just waiting there, just chilling, relaxing. And you got to be careful with your BoneDoinWork. I think he's a little bit too active in the 10-round fight early, throwing a lot of same arm punches. Oh, look at that left hook, though, by Wordlife. Checks him.
Absolutely vicious from Amir Khan. We know he has lightning power in his hands, but again, when he goes for these trades, he needs to be very careful. He needs to be defensively sound. It gets some strikes like that with a power left hook that will answer really well against BoneDoinWork. But now, what is BoneDoinWork gonna do? He's taking the center of the ring. He wants to make sure. With a good whiffing around. It seems like we're gonna find someone trying to make a little bit of a mistake right there, Rob.
Looking like the Matrix in there. I mean, they're both moving so good, moving and grooving. And the left power shots. I mean, these two are standing toe to toe, and they're just using their head movement, and they're just trading big punches. So far in this first, another left hook. Wordlife is money with those left hooks, Kingsley.
He is connecting cleanly against the block. But a turnabout is fair play. I think we're just going out for a fight. No Sam game going for BoneDoinWork, using a bunch of power shots to go back into it. And already we're getting towards the end of the first round right there. If this first round is going to be any indication, I don't think we're even going to see 10 rounds of this whole contest here, Rob.
I don't know. I don't think so either. I mean, so many big hooks being thrown out. BoneDoinWork needs to be careful throwing the same side because that's really gassing him out. And Wordlife is a sniper, and he will put you out with Amir Khan. That left hook has been so good for him. Oh, man, beautiful striking early in round number 2 here, Kingsley. Wordlife is starting to heat up a bit.
Yeah, heat up, and along with the distance, trying to find the range. So far, we saw a lot of movement in the first fight. We're not seeing any movement. Both guys are just staring at each other and saying, you know what, I'm going to avoid your strikes and trying to hit you as much as I can. And so far, it's working really well for both of these competitors. But BoneDoinWork able to get a nice right hook. But it answers back from Wordlife. Wordlife doing such a nice job to stand in the pocket, find a way to see his opponent and get some nice combinations. But this is where it's going to be. Who could go tit for tat and attack the body along with going for the head? But a nice avoidance from BoneDoinWork, knowing that he needs to circle around, stay in the center of the ring. I keep on trying to say octagon, but it's in the center of the ring. Both these guys are treating it like it's a mixed martial arts fight right here, Rob.
My goodness, and look at the heart rate. I mean, it's like 122 bounce on 125. The adrenaline is flowing right now for BoneDoinWork. Wordlife looks a little bit more stationary. It seems like he's a little bit more calm with his cardio, but this fight is so high-paced, Kingsley.
Yeah, so far you can see the stamina getting lower and lower for BoneDoinWork. We'll have to assume the same for Wordlife, but Wordlife able to take some strikes onto his opponent, but so far a little bit of back and forth. He says like BoneDoinWork, you can have these strikes right here, but I'm gonna come back. But now we're just going back and forth here, Rob.
Couple big punches from BoneDoinWork. He's throwing those hooks as Wordlife's coming in, another one, and Wordlife's starting to get damaged here, but he's got the Mexican style. He's just coming forward with the block up, and he's just like daring him to hit him.
Oh my goodness, we're seeing nothing. We're seeing nothing being wasted. Both guys are saying, well, let's meet in the center. Let's just box. Let's see who could get the benefit of the doubt from the judges. But with 10 seconds left, you heard the clapper going in, signaling towards the end of the second round right here. So far, it seems like the hooks are landing very nicely as we see Wordlife just going crazy even after the bell, and BoneDoinWork has to go in this corner and try to recuperate from that.
Neither of these competitors seem to be scared to throw down with the other man standing right in front of them. A lot of hooks being landed, a lot of bombs being thrown, and somehow, some way, both these guys still up and able. Round number 3, here we go, and back to it again in the phone booth, just exchanging.
Just a constant heartbeat. You know, you get a little bit of love moments, but you see just strikes happening like a freaking roller coaster. Both guys just attacking the head so cleanly. So far, just a nice body shot from Wordlife, able to get the distance, saw his opponent coming in, and able to answer back. But a combination is a nice counter from BoneDoinWork entering back. So far, the hooks been the move of the night so far for both these competitors. And when they're so close like this, it's all about who can take the advantage, who can land the more combinations. As you see, Wordlife gets the rock. He has opponent into the corner. He's not going forward. He knows that he still has time, but that's a huge benefit for Wordlife.
Beautiful moment there for Wordlife. And he's being patient, just stalking his opponent. Another left hook lands clean. And Wordlife looks a little tired here, but still standing his ground right in the face. Kingsley trying to find the rhythm, trying to find the knockout. And Josh Taylor's still throwing back.
Call him Bone Crusher because he is never scared of the moment. He is never scared of the strikes right here. Both guys soon going full throttle under 1 minute of the third freaking round. And I don't even think we're going to see a 5th round by the way these guys are going after it. We see Wordlife, he's going forward. He's trying to go for these power strikes, going for the power hugs, able to land an uppercut right there. But BoneDoinWork, even though he's losing a lot of stamina, putting a lot of capital, and he strikes, able to land 2 combinations left. We're going straight into it, Rob.
Big shots by BoneDoinWork there. Man, Bone still not out of this yet. Wordlife finding his rhythm, though. Trying to just chill out a little bit, regain himself a bit. I mean, those are some big shots. Big left hook as well. Bombs, baby.
Perfect range to connect with the power hugs and power connections. And with the predictions, we see 2 rounds go to Wordlife for the first and second round. But it seems like BoneDoinWork got the benefit of the 3rd round right there. But we'll have to see what the other judges have to think, but that's so far what we see. But look at that block you see on the bottom left corner, of BoneDoinWork. It was in the red, so even though he's blocking, he needs to be very careful because those strikes will leak in if that block is super low. But the power shots to the body for BoneDoinWork will actually help him out in this ongoing round.
It will, and Wordlife's doing a good job of using his movement to cut off his opponent. Not chasing him, but cutting him off pretty well. And you're seeing Bone just trying to use his footwork just to get out of there, but he's not afraid to stand his ground, stationary punches. He is winging shots at Wordlife like that. Right there, tags him with the left hook. Good job. BoneDoinWork is still lethal and gangster out here, but Wordlife, I think, is just fighting amazing in this 4th round.
Yeah, Wordlife able to answer back, got a nice straight, and able to land nicely with a left hook. Now, here we go. When we're going to the phone booth right here, who's going to get the bounce in? And a 10-bar! He is falling down as BoneDoinWork hits the canvas. Wordlife back into his corner. We'll have to see if it gets right up, and he does. The first knockdown of the ESFL Undisputed season goes to Wordlife right here, Rob.
Yes, it does, and we know if you get a win by knockout, you get an extra point for your season. 2 points for a win, 1 extra point for a knockout, so this is huge. Wordlife smells blood. He's standing right in the front of BoneDoinWork, and Bone still just throwing back at him, Kingsley.
Yeah, he's throwing back. He's saying, like, call the ambulance, but not for me. He is ready to still strike against his opponent, but this is where he needs to watch out. Every time he's in the phone booth right here, it seems like Wordlife is getting more and more combinations out and hitting nicely. But with the strikes landing so nicely for BoneDoinWork, that's going to land very nicely. The vicious strike. But the trades work well for Wordlife. Wordlife can't finish it as it gets saved by the bell. Call him Zach Morris, but into the 5th round right here, Wordlife is on a momentum high right here, Rob.
He really is. He's found his mark. He's landing some devastating damage on BoneDoinWork. Twice now he's had him on skates. Already has knocked him down, and now BoneDoinWork really needs to be careful not taking too much damage. He needs some minus P's and Q's because this 5th and final round, I think Wordlife's going to try to put him down.
Yeah, and this is and also like a very interesting note that we really didn't talk about. This is the Orthodox versus Southpaw fighter. Both guys at the same side, so it kind of changes up the kind of the strategy going to this fight for both competitors. But so far, Wordlife able to use it very well, very nicely to his benefit, while BoneDoinWork taking his time, trying to get the right distance, because he knows if he goes into a trade, it's not going to work out for him. His head is already damaged from all these combinations. So every time he goes in, he needs to go in, hit a couple strikes, to go all the way up, back out, and hit these combinations.
I'm loving this fight. I'm loving the exchanges here inside of the pocket. But neither guy is really afraid to throw, and it just seems like Wordlife is a little bit more on top of his defense. He kind of waits for the right moment. Oh man, look at these left hooks. There's Bone doing work with the return. Backs up a little bit. That's good work from Bone because he doesn't want to get tagged and put down again.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get tagged, but also he needs to watch out for his block. His block is going to be super low. Oh, but the combinations, you saw a 1-2, a little bit of a hook and an uppercut landing. This is where Wordlife, he is in his flow state. Every time he goes into that pocket, he knows exactly what he needs to do. BoneDoinWork, trying to answer back, trying to find that right range, that distance, where he could not get hit with those trades, but also land his combinations. But so far, he hasn't been able to find the right thing. Oh, but a power left, right hook from Wordlife will change everything from the equation.
Yeah, Will, and Wordlife just looks a little bit smooth here. He looks like he's got his composure. He's being very cool, calm, and collected in this 5th round, and it looks like he's got Bone's number. He's downloaded the game plan, and a couple big late shots at the end there. And what a round, what a performance so far by Wordlife. But you can't take away BoneDoinWork's effort. I mean, he's throwing punches. He's not afraid to exchange in the pocket. It just seems like Wordlife is a little too talented here.
BoneDoinWork pulling on his biggest Braveheart impression inside the ring, knowing that he's against an army of punches, needs to find his way back to the promised land. But Wordlife hanging the center of the ring, going for a nice uppercut right there, landing. And this is where he wants to be. He says, if you want to come in, you're going to get hit with these hands. And it's working so well for Wordlife. Wordlife taking the advantage. It seems like he's very comfortable in this pocket, in these trades right here. As he gets another rock, he's getting close. He sees his opponent on the ropes, but not able to go forward in. Just go for a hook, but not really fully connecting. But again, another rock, the 3rd rock of the fight right here, Rob.
The 3rd rock of the fight, and Wordlife is all over him, the Tasmanian devil himself. And Wordlife is just finding these openings in the pocket when Josh Taylor is not expecting him. The block counters, the perfect precision on his hook. Wordlife is just finding his mark so nicely, and you're seeing BoneDoinWork really throwing a lot volume, but just not as accurate.
Yeah, and that's the main thing, right? He's able to connect, but not fully cleanly. We know that Amar Khan, he doesn't have like the best chin in the game, but so far he hasn't been rocked. He hasn't been knocked down at all. He's still taking these punches and working so well, and with power punches to the body, he's trying to get his body to crumble down as much as he can. But every time he goes into these trades, Wordlife has the benefit of the doubt because he's not really at risk, because he's getting these combinations working really well. But BoneDoinWork still landing with the straights, still landing with the hooks. Oh, but what a power shot right here. BoneDoinWork trying to capitalize, hits a nice body, trying to drain that stem a little bit. But with 20 seconds, BoneDoinWork still has a lot of work to do.
And oh man, a lot of good punches here from BoneDoinWork, but Wordlife always has his hands up. They're always pretty well defended when he's taking shots, never just getting openly chin checked. But a nice little ending to that round from BoneDoinWork, finding his mark again. A left hook lands as they go back to their Stools Kings. We got a fight.
Yeah, we absolutely do have a fight. We saw BoneDoinWork getting hurt, and you can see Wordlife still has the benefit 58 to 55 in the company box prediction scorecards, but we'll have to see what the other judges have to think about what BoneDoinWork has been doing so far. So far, he's getting the body shots, he's getting the combinations he wants. It's just these trades. He can't afford to have these crazy trades where Wordlife is able to get these combinations. But the distance right there, you saw a little bit, just like a little bit of a half step away from his opponent, able to connect with his opponent's head. But we'll have to see. BoneDoinWork with a double jab. This is what he kind of needs to do. Double jab, find his way out, and land a nice power hook to his opponent.
Yeah, I would agree. Stay away from Wordlife's hooks. Stay away from that pocket. I think you see a lot of shots being missed. The timing on Wordlife a little off there, and it's the footwork from Josh Taylor. He's bouncing in, he's bouncing out, like you said, and he's doing a good job at not getting hit this round.
Yeah, so far so good, but Wordlife taking his time, knowing that he has the benefit of the scorecards and the benefit of possibly his health of his head, affording these trades, going to attack the body a little bit more than going for the head, because I think BoneDoinWork is trying to protect the head as much as he can. He knows he can't afford another rock to his head, so he's going to be blocking that entirely. But with 1 minute to go, Wordlife kind of taking his foot off the gas a little bit, trying to pinpoint his opponent, trying to open up his opponent, just like we saw right there. A nice little 1-2 to the head, going to the body.
Yeah, Wordlife is just slowing the pace down, like LeBron James in the Lakers game finals. Well, not this year, but in the previous years, you know, he's just
2020.
yeah,
we don't talk
2020
about this
LeBron. Yeah, you know, he kind of realized he's up. He knows he doesn't have to rush anything. He doesn't need to, you know, in those last couple of rounds, he was getting hit a couple times. So now he's being very defensive, and he's just gonna find his opening, find his mark, and laser beam, special beam cannon, Piccolo style. Let's go.
Yeah, and you can see BoneDoinWork trying to do his best Jimmy Butler impression, trying to take his team from the brink of defeat, trying to come back up. But so far, with the end of the 7th round, going to the 8th round right here, Wordlife, he's still in control. But look at that health and the stamina for BoneDoinWork. 37% for his health, 48 for his stamina. He needs to do a lot more work, but with the limited amount of tools and timing he has, he needs to find a way to create a miracle.
He really does. He really does. And the effort is there. You know, he's definitely trying his best to find a way to crack the code. And there's a Rubik's Cube play right there. I mean, a nice banger of a left hand lands on Wordlife, but Wordlife, his defense is just too strong.
Yeah, too strong. And look at the distance, trying to go for these big hooks, but not really in range. Every time BoneDoinWork wants to go for his strikes, he needs to find a way to enter in and just escape with his life intact. Well, Wordlife taking his time with 2 minutes left, getting the combinations, able to get the straights that he wants. But right now, trying to find a way to duck away, trying to take a little bit of a lunge back and then go into his combinations. But right now, trying to go for a left hook right there, not really connecting, but this is where he wants to be. In the pocket, going for these combinations.
Ooh, swing and a miss. A big looping left from Wordlife. And Wordlife looks like he's increasing the range and the distance of his attack. He's launching these missiles with Amir Khan. Another left hand connects again, backs up. Bone doing work. Bone just staying on his bicycle, trying to find a way out of the danger zone. And ooh, couple good jabs there, baby. Couple good jabs there.
Yeah, you know, he's going to fight to his heart content because he knows a maximum 3 points are on the line. 2 points if you win the fight, but 3 points if you get to knock out that extra point. It's going to be very key for going for the top 8 to go into the playoffs. And Wordlife, he's on a man on a mission with 30 seconds left, able to get the nice strikes, but a nice counter from BoneDoinWork with a no Sam gain on his back. So far, he needs to be a little bit of outside fire, but going back into combinations, able to land a left hook. But with 8 seconds left, this is where it gets a little bit scary. You can't avoid to get hit anymore. And I think we're just going to take it to the 9th round.
Round number 8, the heart on Josh Taylor, aka BoneDoinWork, cannot be questioned here. I mean, this is just unbelievable. He's standing there with no gas in the tank, throwing these punches and connecting with Wordlife, but Wordlife just waiting for his opportunity. And I think in round number 9 and maybe round number 10, we're gonna see a vicious KO from the player Wordlife.
Yeah, and I think we saw a little bit of indicator that the doctor is looking over the cuts of BoneDoinWork. So BoneDoinWork, he needs to avoid these strikes because the doctor might step in for a doctor stoppage if it keeps on getting worse. But so far, Wordlife staying in the pocket, gets a nice left hook from his starting punches. But so far, uppercuts landing, just circling his opponent, just creeping in a little bit more. With 2 minutes to go, BoneDoinWork trying to do as much as he can, but again, 3 strikes already depletes his stamina bar, which means he can't even follow up. So it's his body to the head. That is venomous there, Rob.
Big shots by Wordlife. The body hook, the left hook. I mean, these are power shots, and BoneDoinWork is breathing. His gas tank is empty. And Wordlife has some power in his punches still, and he is throwing with some heat here, Kingsley, to end our round number 9. We still have a minute, though, left.
God, yeah, and if you're BoneDoinWork, that timer needs to go a little bit faster because with 1 minute to go, there's a lot of time for Wordlife to bring it to basic thugonomics and bring his opponent down with an attitude adjustment. But we'll have to see Wordlife still fighting into the pocket. BoneDoinWork applies it. Hold the phone. Flip the script a little bit. BoneDoinWork trying to go for the freedom of a victory. Oh, but he can't close the distance. He's trying to close in, but he doesn't have enough stamina. That was so close with 20 seconds left. Who is going to take this round? This is because landing. Wordlife got a little bit of a scare right there. This is going to be really scary. Both guys going for it.
You saw a huge momentum shift with that left piston of the hand from BoneDoinWork. And they are just throwing with the most sluggish punches you ever seen. But my goodness, Call him the comeback kid. BoneDoinWork somehow takes.
Oh my
round
God,
number
his
9.
side.
We are in a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where we are tied to the last final round, and that's what you like to see in the Esports Fight League. Let's go!
Business has just picked up. It is all tied. BoneDoinWork fighting with all his might to bring it back, to run it back. With the hooks. Wordlife kind of just shocked at the developments right here. Wordlife needs to put it on his opponent. Took too many times, maybe took his foot off the gas in the last couple of rounds, but BoneDoinWork smelling blood in the water, moving forward, trying to find a way to get his hooks in, but with 2 minutes left, we'll have to see who's going to point fight, who is going to go for a knockout. Again, a maximum 3 points going into this contest round. I am so excited to see what we're going to see.
And both guys are so exhausted right now. You got to give kudos to BoneDoinWork. The relentlessness throughout the fight to throw even when he was low on stamina, even though when he was out of gas, and still standing his ground, throwing these labored punches on the face of Wordlife. But Wordlife plodding forward with his block up, trying to get back the momentum which he lost in that last round.
And the craziest thing, Rob, Wordlife had a freaking knockdown, which would have made it a 10-8 round. So this is huge that it's all tied up with 1 minute to go. BoneDoinWork able to get rocked 3 times. Got knocked down. He is fighting. He is throwing these hooks into the phone book. But Wordlife coming back in. We're just trading now. We're just trading in the pocket with 35 seconds left. Here we go. BoneDoinWork. Wordlife taking their time, trying to find their opening, trying to gain the distance. Both guys trying to find their way. 25 seconds left. Getting closer and closer. Both guys still fighting. Not able to get a rock. BoneDoinWork barely has any stamina. 10 seconds here out. Who's going to take it?
I don't know, but they are both completely out of gas, and BoneDoinWork is throwing more punches. Wordlife is kind of holding it back a little bit, and right to the ending bell, they are letting it fly.
Who takes it? BoneDoinWork takes it back. The comeback of the regular season. BoneDoinWork down 3 rounds, down 2 rounds, knocked down, rocked 3 times, able to run it back, take it back, and get the first victory. In a split decision. All 3 rounds just gave him the final round. One judge, the second judge, gave Wordlife the 9th round. Very interesting to see the scorecards right there.
Yeah, I would have to say so. You know, you thought early in that fight that Wordlife was just so patient, and he just was a step ahead of BoneDoinWork throughout those first 5 rounds. And round number 4 was the pinnacle of his performance, 8-10 with that knockdown. And you thought, oh man, this is not gonna go well for BoneDoinWork. But BoneDoinWork, Kingsley, he would just stand his ground and he would just throw these punches over and over again. The relentlessness, the bravery, the unwillingness to lose. You smelt it, you felt it in there, Kingsley. And that is a big win over a very highly touted opponent in Wordlife for BoneDoinWork. I mean, what a fight here in fight number 2.
Just let me tell you, guys, if you don't understand what just happened, this guy was knocked down 3 times. I mean, not knocked down 1 time, rocked 3 times, barely had any stamina, but he kept on fighting. Again, I said Braveheart, but my God, he pulled one hell of a Braveheart, and that gave him 2 crazy points in the start of this regular season. Again, that's a big point, especially in that kind of situation to make the playoffs. Interesting to see what Wordlife does in his next couple fights, because we heard from BoneDoinWork before this event. He was coming off his last performance where he got a victory. He was ready to showcase himself. He was very excited, and he says his boxing talent, that would be his key talent. He wanted to do something big, and he absolutely did. I mean, that might be a contender for fight of the night. We'll have to see. I know the people
no doubt,
were super excited to see what happened there. But again, we still have 5 more fights to go. You thought those first 2 fights were crazy? Guess what? We still got 5 more to go. And speaking of which, our third one is about ready to go. This is one that's very interesting to see. We don't really have any notes, but King Diaz going against Royzen in the, I don't know which division is. I think it's a lightweight, middleweight division. How excited are you to see 2 kind of unknowns going into this contest and making their big name after the fights we just seen here, Rob?
I love a good Nigel Benn pick. He is a devastating power puncher. He's tough as nails, and he's someone I love to watch. I don't know too much about Joe Calzaghe, But you know, I'm about to find out. And you're seeing these records here. These two. I mean, that last fight got me feeling pretty happy and excited. You know, the first fight was a little bit more technical, a little bit more slow. The second fight, oh man, that was fireworks. I'm ready for this one though. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. You know, SFG King 12 Diaz and Royzen, two newcomers to Undisputed, looking to make a name for themselves. And I'm ready to watch and I'm ready to see it. Middleweight division, let's get it.
Yeah, and very interesting that we have Nigel Benn. We know that he's been a staple of the middleweight division in Undisputed. You know, when you don't want to go for the tippy top of the fighters in those divisions, you usually want to go for Nigel Benn or some other. But Joe Calzine, he's been introduced. He was a new fighter in the new patches in the game, and so far, I think he's a 92 rated, and he has very high stats. So it'll be very interesting. Nigel Benn coming in as the underdog, going against Joe, with Royzen being a last minute replacement for Pop Dog. Pop Dog was originally supposed to be in this contest, being a new fighter, being a replacement fighter. We'll have to see. Not taking any chances, going for a 92 rated fighter, going against Nigel Benn, who I think, if someone would correct me, possibly in the chat or in my ear, that I think Nigel Benn's like an 86 overall rated fighter in this contest. We'll have to find out. But so it'll be crazy if King Diaz can pull off this victory against a highly talented fighter in Joe and Royzen. This will be a huge statement into the regular season right here, Rob.
Fun fact: Calzaghe was the first boxer to unify 3 of the 4 major world titles.
Jeez.
And he's from Welsh. 46-0, beat Bernard Hopkins. You know, I'm not reading this. I'm an expert, guys. Come on.
Got all in the dome, man. This is why we pay you the big bucks. So we're still having a little bit of issue. We'll hopefully get to that fight as soon as possible. But again, very interesting to see what those two guys could do. But let's go back to the first 2 fights. Again, we're here live for ESFL Undisputed 1, our first week of regular season matchups of our 7-week season. Again, I am Kingsley. Alongside me is Rob. We're excited to talk about these fights here live on Twitch and on YouTube. So far, we've seen a bunch of bangers. We saw 2 different kind of fights that we saw back. I mean, the first fight, that was more of like a dominating fight that we saw from Attic 85, using a lot of power punches in the beginning of his fight, his contest, and he was able to win that wholeheartedly and survive. Well, the second fight there, Rob, he was able to come back for BoneDoinWork, able to come back, able to get the victory, even though he got hit so many times, able to get knocked down. How are you liking so far what we've seen from these last 2 fights?
I think it's been a perfectly paced card. You know, that first fight, Wordlife versus BoneDoinWork, had to get skipped, technical difficulties, and then we went to Attic 85 versus Talon. You know, they were kind of just being a little bit more strategic, body shots, a little bit less. You know what I'm saying? And then we got into Wordlife as we were going back into the fight. Wordlife and BoneDoinWork right now is marked for my fight of the night. We are going to be picking, me and Kingsley here are going to be picking fight of the night tonight, and they do get a little bonus for fight of the night, and you get a little bonus for knocking people out. I'm talking money bonuses for knockouts. I'm talking money bonuses for finishes. You know, we turning it up here in the Undisputed.
A little bit of casual love for you guys who want to be a part of this. A little cash, but yeah, if you ever want to be a part of like events like these, you could definitely join our Discord where you can see the latest updates for Undisputed and for our UFC cards, or even ESFLW or WWE cards as well. So a lot of differentiating content that you want to be a part of in the Discord. But with these guys coming in, it's gonna be hard to follow up the second fight, but they're gonna try their darkness to do that, because again, it's up to you guys as well. If you want to put your predictions and it'll get a little bit of channel points, you can absolutely do that as well. But we're looking for knockouts, we're looking for fight nights, we're looking for predictions. We want to get your guys' opinion as well. So be sure to interact. Tell what you guys think, even on our social medias, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you can find us. But again, we're getting ready for a third fight. King Diaz using Nigel Benn. Joe is being used by Royzen, and we're going into more of a little. We don't have any audio, but it's a little bit more of an intimate arena in the boxing gym right here. But this will give us the clearest view of what's going to be happening in this boxing ring right here, Rob.
Yeah, here we go. No audio. You know how I feel about it. Faggot. You know, I'm going to talk to these athletes in the back. All right, here we go. We're in the warm-up facility here. You
Yes.
know, we got our earphones on and we're just focusing. But yeah, so far so good. Let's go.
Yeah, and we're seeing a little bit of counter hits from Royszn. Royszn doing a nice job on the red corner. Oh, and able to land that right hook onto his opponent. But so far, Nigel Benn, a little bit of an underdog in the situation. He needs to try to fight more in the inside. But so far, Royszn, is doing such a nice job in this contest so far.
Yeah, Royzen looking good, putting that pressure, standing his ground, stationary punch. You see that hook nice and clean, and also just throwing these perfect jab straight combos. And the pressure is on King 12 Diaz right now in round number 1. Ooh, look at these shots, King.
Yeah, he closed up the ring a little bit, and he was able to answer the bell nicely with a nice combination and a nice little counter. And now it's up to King Diaz. What can King Diaz do in the center of the ring? Can he find his way to get the movement out, trying to avoid these strikes? He's able to land nicely to the body with a nice counter, but so far, Joe is able to do his business, even though it might give a little motion sickness with camera shaking a little bit. But so far, we see both these competitors doing a little bit much of their game plan, trying to fill out what we have 30 seconds left in this first round.
Yeah, Roy is really taking these off angles, like going left, going right, just kind of stepping to the side and really using that to land his hooks and his combinations. And if you're Nigel Benn, I'm looking for big power body shots when he's moving and grooving like that. But so far, I think Roy taking round number 1, just looking a little smoother here, Kingsley. I don't know.
Yeah, his movement was on point. He was able to land the combinations. And the main thing, he barely used any stamina. He still has 100 stamina. So he's not using his strikes a lot, but he's being very efficient with his striking. So we'll have to see in the second round what is going to be adaptability of Nigel Benn and King Diaz. But King Diaz able to land a nice straight onto his opponent, but now with the back steps, what can he possibly do in this situation? He needs to find a way to gain his distance because so far, Royszn, he's just moving forward and able to land some nice strikes on his opponent, but needs to be careful of going in and getting countered.
Oh, now you're seeing King 12 throwing these power body shots, these left body shots, as Roy's trying to navigate his way around and that check right hook. I mean, it's just so nice. He's in the southpaw stance. He's throwing that front hook so well. And look at the movement, Kingsley. Look how much he's moving around in circles. I think he's trying to get me and you seasick or something.
Yeah, it's like we're on a cruise ship and we ain't too much shrimp and we're trying to focus on a fight right here. But so far, what I'm liking from Diaz right here, he's able to land the hooks right here. But with his movement, even though he's moving like side to side a little bit, he's not overly going crazy with his shots. He's taking his time and being meticulous with his striking. So far, so good. I'm liking what we're seeing from King Diaz.
Yeah, I'm liking what we're seeing from King Diaz as well, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from Roy a little bit more. I feel like he's just landing the better shots. I know Nigel is. Oh, look at that right there. Oh, a little combination, a little flurry. I mean, it looked like it was blocked, but still, good shots.
So far, we know the block meter will go down if you take so many shots. So those punches could leak in. But so far, as you said, Joe's been doing such a nice job. Royszn is working really well. So if he has his opponent stay in one place, he will target on his opponent and use these combinations very well. Look at that. Every time he's moving around, Nigel Benn, if he moves around, he's able to avoid those shots and use his game plan. But if he stays in front of Joe, he's going to get hit with punches and bunches.
Yeah, it just seems like Roy is just throwing a little bit more. You know, every time you're seeing King getting the inside, throwing that straight, that lead hook. I mean, look at these punches. I mean, he's just all over King, and King kind of just, biding his time a little bit, not throwing as much volume as Roy. And I think these rounds are going to start stacking up for Mr. Roy.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And again, he has like the stamina capital to do it. If he keeps up this kind of pace, he'll definitely go into the 10th round with all his weapons in his arsenal and able to use it whenever. But so far, this is up to Nigel Benn. What can King Diaz do to change out the flow? Can he disrupt the timing of Royszn to land his counter strikes? Because right there, even though he tried to go for a right hook right there, he was able to get counter and get hit to the body. And this is where he stands still. You don't want to be in this situation because you're going to get hit with jabs, even though you get a nice counter. But now we're just going to a brawl right here, Rob.
And that's what you want if you're a Nigel Benn player, is to go into a brawl. I mean, this is what you want to see. You want to see him on the inside. You want to see both guys trading punches, because more likely than not, Nigel Benn's going to land that piston. Oh, right there, you see the body buckle on Roy, and Roy needs to get back on his bike.
Yeah, he took two, but he was able to land a counter to the body, and that's what probably is going to be the game. But oh my God, vicious combinations from Royszn Joe, just picking his opponent. And the thing is that he has a height advantage. He probably has a longer reach than Nigel Benn, even though King Diaz is trying to get away, trying to use that backstab, he is still in range for these crazy strikes from Joe. So he needs to be very careful. Work it to the side, work it to the back. He's using a nice little straight to the body, but so far, standing into the face of Joe is not going to be a good plan because so far he's using all these strikes, but he barely loses any stamina with 1 minute under in the third round.
Yeah, when Roy comes in and he's moving after he, pop shots his opponent a couple times, that's when he's looking real good. It's those moments when he lingers a little too long on that inside pocket when King takes advantage and starts winging these power shots. But man, this fight is pretty close. I would still say Roy's season is still just in the advantage, in the driver's seat in this fight. And I think he's picking up round number 3 here too.
Yeah, and again, this is under different usual ranked settings. I saw people in the chat were talking about like what are the settings for this contest. In the ESFL, is 1.5 stamina, 1.5 damage. As you see, the combinations and counters landing for King Diaz working so well. So far, Joe, at the end of the round, you still have to think he's taking it, and he has plenty of stamina. Even though it's 1.5 stamina, he's looking very well and barely a scratch on his face.
He's looking good, looking a little sweaty. That's what you like to see. The efforts being displayed. And there's the judges, the CompuBox box. It's 30-27. And yeah, I think Roy is, I would agree with that, up 30-27. I think he's landing the better shots. And Nigel, aka King 12, needs to make this, like you said, a brawl. He needs to get scrappy in there.
Yeah, he needs to get very scrappy. He needs to find a way to not be as predictable because we saw in the first 3 rounds, every time he goes in close, he's expecting combinations. He gets hit a bunch. Now he needs to find a way to go inside and probably use less of that backstab because I feel like that backstab is just hindering his movement a little bit. Even though he gets a nice counter, he needs to find a way to trade into the pocket, but also avoid the strikes coming to him. So I know that's easier said than done into that ring right there, but so far he's doing really well. But the left hook would change up everything for Royszn.
Yeah, you're seeing that backstep over and over again. King 12 is being a little predictable with that, but it is working. I think in this round so far he's doing a little bit better. I mean, he's throwing some good hooks, that power jab, and he's starting to land a little bit more ferociously here, and he's also keeping himself out of danger. So he's kind of getting a little bit more technical, huh? Oh, but watch out.
Oh, my goodness. That was a huge mistake from King Diaz. You saw he sidestepped 2 times and got hit with a vicious hook, and that stopped his momentum, so he was able to get hit with vicious combinations. But now, as we see the trades coming in, the body shots, the combinations, the hooks, it just seems like Royzen, with his analog stick movement, he's working so well, just like hitting the jabs. He knows what combinations he has in his head, and he's just sticking to that, and it's working so well for him.
It's working tremendously well. His lead hand is real educated out here. He's throwing that lead hook to the body, lead hook to the head, and still round number 4, he's bouncing pretty nicely, coming back. Oh, double hooks there, landing flush.
Yeah, I love how he goes like for the same hand twice, then switches to the opposite hand and it goes back to it. It's like a 1-2, 1-2 in this situation. I like what I'm seeing from Joe. And again, he's been keeping up with the consistency of his striking and barely lost any stamina in that situation. So for Nigel Benn, even though he's using a lot of his counters, using a lot of his power punches, he needs to make sure that he's using it to the right best capabilities because so far it's all been Joe.
It has all been Joe. Roy in control, 4 rounds in the bank. Shorty, what you drank? And I just think King needs to come forward a little bit. He needs to throw some power shots, take a little bit more risk because right now Joe is just smooth sailing.
Yeah, he's smooth sailing indeed. And so far, oh, look at that. A straight into a right hook going into the face of Nigel Benn. And so far, he gets a nice little counter punches to his benefit. But right now, into the pocket, even though he goes to the body, those strikes to the face just hurts a lot more. And Joe is just doing such a nice job. Royzen is, again, the combinations. Every time he stands still, it works to his benefit. He just has a lot more faster punches. For Nigel Benn, for you, Rob, for Nigel Benn, what do you think he could do in this situation? It's a lot to say, even though he's sending straight into his opponent. What can he do to change up the momentum of this whole fight?
When he comes in, he needs to be throwing something every time. Oh my goodness, hold the phone real quick because Roy is calling and he's coming with some knockout punches. Oh man, here he is. No, he's not going to be able to finish his opponent, but yeah, Nigel Benn's coming in. And he's just getting tagged every time on the way in, on the entry. He needs to throw, and he can't really take off angles because that hook is all over him, but Nigel just needs to get a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, it seems like what Royzen has in his striking, he perfectly plans it out. Even though it may seem like it's random punches, it seems like every punch is planned out. Like he has a purpose for every single one of his punches, and it's working so well. Even though he's getting hit a little bit right there in his trade, that's looking really good for King Diaz. For what we saw in the last couple of seconds for Royzen with that rock, he was able to close in. He was able to use his strike. He knows what he's doing in that ring, and his mapping of his skills of his controller is working really well going to the next couple of rounds.
It is, and he's not worrying about landing the most powerful shots. He's just worried about landing the accurate shots, the correct shots. And whenever King is coming in, especially that last round, he is getting touched up. And you got to see in round number 6, he's got a couple rounds left. He needs to change the game plan here.
Yeah, last couple of rounds, he is in the later part of this whole fight. Well, Royzen, he's still consistently and the combinations are landing for Joe. But right now, King Diaz using Nigel Benn, he needs to find a way to get back in this fight. We've seen it done before. We saw it in the last fight, but this is a little bit of a taller task than what we saw in our previous fights. So far, Joe, Royzen, every time he goes in close, stationary punches, working so well, landing the combinations. He gets a counter to his face, but so far, he could just keep on doing this and he'll find success every single time.
Yeah, and the difference though is BoneDoinWork was, I felt like he was more willing to stand his ground and throw punches, and he would just let it fly. It seems King a little bit hesitant, and that's because Roy is just so accurate with his shots, and he's just testing his chin constantly, moving and grooving all around the odds. I mean, look at him, he's taking so many different angles in there.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing from Nigel Benn, from King Diaz, you saw like a combination of like 5 setbacks. He used a setback right there. You're still in range. That is not helping you avoid these punches because that's kind of like taking you a step to recover from that, and you're still getting punched. So every time he does a step back, he's still getting hit. Look at these combinations, and like just keep on getting hit every single time because that back step is not helping him.
No, it's not. He's getting pieced up big time. You're not seeing a lot of block counters coming out from Nigel Benn. You're just seeing that backstep, and Joe, aka Roy, is just looking so comfortable in there, and he's just starting to heat up even more. Look at these angles are so nice, and he's just pounding them to the body, throwing left hooks, right hooks, and it's just looking very pretty for Mr. Royzen.
Yeah, and he has his opponent on the ropes, and you know he didn't go for the crazy punches. He just used the jab, trying to disrupt the block gauge, just trying to make sure he pepper him some shots, making sure that he's here. That's what you need to do when you have like such a outweighing advantage against your opponent. Just don't go for the crazy stuff. Just make sure that you let your opponent know that you're there, and just take the round.
Yep, and that's what Roy is doing, just taking round by round by round. And eventually his opponent is going to start to drown, and he's going to lose and have a frown.
Yeah. Oh, but wait a minute. CompuBox is predicting that Nigel King Diaz the last 2 rounds, round 5 and round 6. So again, this is still pretty close. You can't take your foot off the gas, even though we see Joe doing so well with the combination and striking. We'll have to see what the other judges think of that whole situation. But again, it still could be anybody's fight. We've seen it done before. Oh, but the combinations, I think that just woke up Royzen a little bit.
He's activated. He's like, wait, what? They scored these last 2 rounds in his favor? This is not going on. Hold up. And
now you see what I'm cooking? Just let me cook for a second and let me get my combinations in. But so far, we saw Nigel, to his credit, he is still fighting. He's still coming in. He's still marching on. He's getting some counter shots. Maybe the judges are taking that more into effect. But in these situations where they're so close up, taking the side steps as a step back, this is what is working so well. A nice combination with a left hook into an uppercut, and it's working so well for him. You have to think he has to be activated after seeing that scorecard.
Oh yeah, and he's liking that that lead body shot, lead head combo, and he's doing that very well. Kind of bouncing around. Is Nigel getting more aggressive here? I don't know. Could he be standing his ground more? He's loving that backstep, and he saw that he's winning these last 2 rounds. So why deviate?
Yeah, I mean, as far as we know, we're commentators. We're not the judges in that ring right there, or the fighters. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so far, to his credit, he's able to get, like, again, a nice jab counter into the face of Joe, even though he's not doing as much as crazy health damage to his opponent. It's scoring points, and we can't deny that absolutely. But so far, Royzen, he's working in, he's coming in, he's taking his time with 25 seconds left, just walking his opponent down, and just working his straights in. Oh, but a nice cover from Nigel Benn. You know, he's taking some angles right there. He's able to land some strikes.
Yeah, he is. Big body shot from Royzen, but Nigel Benn landing some shots here. That power jab, that step back working out for him. And that loose stance being employed by Royzen, I think the entire fight. So a little bit extra damage, but extra damage given out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And for King Diaz, who knows how they're going to score that last round? We saw Joe had some good striking, some good combinations, but Nigel Benn, I think he had more counters for his striking. So all the straights, all the jabs, that will score points in the judge's eyes. So we'll have to see going into round number 8. As we see here, Nigel Benn taking more. Oh, gets a nice power straight to the face of Joe, and that's something that has to be careful and gets a counter. This is changing up the script a little bit. Something that we didn't see before in the ongoing rounds.
Yeah, he's throwing that power straight now, letting it fly a little bit. Ooh, there's another one. That's 3 now in round number 8, and he's starting to stand his ground a little bit. Yeah, he's popping him with it.
This is very interesting. We see Joe, like we see the punches and bunches are working, but maybe King Diaz has cracked the code. Maybe download his opponent. He realizes what the judges are looking for, and now he's scoring a lot more than he used to. So far, with the back steps, it's working very well. He's used to the back movement. It's working well. We're going to the halfway point, and so far, I have this round for King Diaz.
Yeah, I would agree. Landing the better shots, moving pretty well, and Roy's season is looking, or Royzen, as you say, is moving pretty well still, but just a little bit out of range. And he's getting tagged on the way in now. That left hook is being thrown by Mr. King, and King looking a little bit more confident here in round number 8.
Yeah, and again, that right hook lands flush onto his opponent and working the body. It seems, oh my God, the side step into a nice jab. That's working really. I feel like King Diaz, it seemed like Joe was having the benefit of the trades early on, but now it seems like King Diaz has figured out his opponent, and now he's landing with counters and combinations, and it's working really well. That's his 8th counter of this whole round.
Beautiful counters. Roy, though, he's also finding little pockets of success, but more and more you're seeing Nigel with these big bombs again and again with the power jab, just taking this round, I think, by storm.
Yeah, and with 5 seconds left, again, we're gonna see the judges could score this in Nigel's. This could be all tied up going into the 9th round right here, Rob.
It very well could be. It's Nigel Benn surging right now. King 12 is doing it. He's getting on his bike and he's coming in and he's throwing hard.
Yeah, he's throwing hard, but so many rounds. We'll have to see what the CompuBox predicts. We'll have to say. I think we'll get the notice in the next round because we're in round 9. 2 more rounds to go in this third fight of the ESFL Undisputed regular season debut. But so far, Joe trying to find his way in. Royson, he's trying to play a little bit more of an outside fight, trying to go in, dip in, gets a nice counter, try to go for his jab straight. Not really fully connecting, but able to get the jab. But now King Diaz trying to lunge back, trying to go for the backstab, going for the side stabs. That's been his move of the fight so far, but needs to not get caught with these strikes right here because now Joe is feeling it. Yeah,
that lead hook has been so good for Royzen throughout this contest. And there's the body starting out round number 9, very, very strong. And again, go over that body uppercut. And he's starting to stalk him a little bit. There's that power shot from King, though, to back him up a bit.
Try to go high, gets hit low. That will lead to a counter. And he and lands another one flush to the body. Right now, Royzen, he's doing such a nice job. Able to counter back, able to fight back. But a nice hook landing from King Diaz. King Diaz going for the back steps, trying to find his way in, trying to goad his opponent from reacting. Goes in for a trade, but not really landing. And a nice combination for Royzen, using live to stamina, but working so well in that under 1 minute situation.
Yeah, Roy flowing a little bit right there. A couple good shots, and this round is so important. And we've seen so many comebacks in these fights tonight in the Esports Fight League. You know, guys really adjusting well in these long 10-round fights have given them a lot of area to meander through. And right now, it's another situation where we could have a close fight, but it looks like Roy is kind of closing the show here in the 9th. I don't know these judges what they're seeing though, but what do you think, Kingsley? He seems to be doing pretty well.
If anything of the predictions, we might go to a split decision by the way things are going, because King Diaz, he's doing really well. He's getting some strikes in, but Joe, I just love him the combinations that he has in the pocket. And landing, and talking to his opponent a little bit, saying that he has his in the bag. In my opinion, I think it's 1 round up for Royzen, but again, King Diaz, he did a lot of work in those later rounds. We'll have to see what the CompuBox has to say, but Rob, what do you think is going into this final round? Who do you think is up?
I don't know. As soon as the combi box comes up, I'll give you my prediction.
Oh.
Holy moly, 88 to 83. Those last 3 rounds, all in the favor of Joe King.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, we saw what Royzen saw, and he was like, all right, I'm going to try to win these rounds. I want to do what I know best and just go back into the form he was, and it worked really well. For King Diaz, that had to be very deflating, knowing that you have to go for a finish right here. And now, for all the trades that you took part of, now you have to go in there and just risk it all. And that's going to be a dangerous proposition, knowing that Joe has like such a good defense with his punches.
Yeah. And for the first time, you're seeing Nigel Benn coming forward. You're seeing King putting the pressure on his opponent, which I think would have, done him very well in the earlier portions of this fight. But now, on the inside. But the stationary punches from Roy keeping Nigel at bay, but he's still in the pocket, just swinging, slinging King.
This is not good for Royzen. Even though he's up, you want to get out of that corner. You don't want to be a stationary target for King Diaz, because King Diaz could take a backstep and just go in. He's trying to go for power punches, but I think he used a lot of stamina, and that could have been very close. Royzen saw the punches being a little bit slower for King Diaz and able to go in, but it seems like Joe is just being this combination right here, and so far so good for King Diaz, landing these straights.
Yeah, Roy is just egging him on. Seems pretty comfortable in that corner, just, baiting him in. Nigel throwing some heat seekers, but, Roy's also just tagging him. That lead hook is nasty again and again. That block counter, the jab. Oh, man. Clean stuff from Royzen.
Guys, like, if you're going to keep on doing the backstab, I'm going to make you pay for it. And I'm going to bring you in like a Venus flytrap right here. And now you can see, even though he brings him in, he's able to land a right hook for his troubles. And with 13 seconds left, Nigel Benn just needs to go in. King Diaz just needs to go in and try to get a finish. But it seemed like this has been all Royzen, able to land a combination, work the body. And
what are they doing?
Good back and forth from King Diaz. But this has to be Royzen's fight. And it is, as he takes the victory, takes the 2 points away from King Diaz.
Yeah, Royzen started out the fight so well and just looked really, really good out there. I was loving all of his boxing techniques, his confidence right when the bell started, his lead hand ability in that southpaw stance was really nice to watch. And you like to see Nigel as well, Kingsley. In those middle rounds 5 and 6, he did come alive a little bit, and I thought maybe 7 and 8 he was doing well too. But the judge in this game didn't agree with me. But man, started off strong, closed off strong. We got a competitor, Royzen.
Yeah. And very interesting to see. We saw the judges' scorecards. The third judge had 4 rounds for King Diaz. Gave him the third round, I think the second round, and then those middle rounds right there, while the other judges only gave 2 rounds to King Diaz. So very interesting to see what judges are going for what kind of thing, but very interesting to see. And hopefully we'll try to figure out what the judges are looking for, because it seems like the judges are all over the place when it comes to Undisputed.
yeah, they're trying to improve them judgings, but yeah, it does seem a little wild sometimes, huh?
Yeah, tiny bit. But again, we are in the halfway mark of ESFL Undisputed regular season debut. We still have so many other great fights to look forward to, and especially this one up and coming. This is something that we're all been looking forward to. Both of these guys have been looking to put on a show for you guys, as EyeGameYouWatch is going against the WokeSportsFan, which is going to be very interesting in the bantamweight division, as we see Lee McGregor versus Jorge Linares. That's going to be a very interesting fight to see here, Rob.
Yeah, it is. An EyeGameYouWatch with over 239,000 followers, 5.9 million likes on TikTok, bringing all eyes to the Undisputed. Make sure you check him out if you don't know about this man already. But yeah, he's bringing in some heat. He's bringing in some entertainment, some swagger into the ring. And this matchup is going to be a good one. His opponent, WokeSportsFan. I don't know too much about this guy, Kingsley. How about you?
Yeah, well, I talked to him a little bit before the event, and we saw him previously in exhibition cards. I said, coming off your last performance in exhibition cards, what are your fans looking forward to see from you and going on for a fresh start? They said they want to see more aggressive, more decisiveness, more variation, and overall a better outing from his last contest. So he wants to go for a little bit more of a knockout-centric game plan going to this contest. And with a title on the line this season, because we have a brand new title coming to this situation, he thinks that strategies will change for a certain reason midway, because we might be expecting the patch come to Undisputed, but he wants to make sure he works through his jab and going from there. So you're going to see a branching paths going from his striking ability. Maybe we'll see a body uppercut. Maybe we'll see some hooks coming off of it. But every single strike that you're going to see from WokeSportsFan is going to be coming off for jab and for some aggression as well there, Rob.
All right, here we go, and I'm excited to see Jorge Linares. He's a very exciting fighter, durable, a brute out there, if you will. This guy is the real deal. Lee McGregor. You know, I don't know too much about Lee McGregor, but I do like Conor McGregor, so I like Lee McGregor.
Hey, we saw one Scottish fighter win in this Undisputed card, so can they make it 2-0? We'll have to find out. But going for EyeGameYouWatch, what I talked to him before, I asked him, how excited are you for to be a part of this new ESFL season, being a new game? He says he's very excited to see how far he can go with this, because I like the WokeSportsFan's styles of being aggressive and working through the jab. He says his style for EyeGameYouWatch is to be a technical knockout artist. So expect to hopefully see our first knockout of the season in this contest. Both guys are saying that they're going to go aggressive. We'll have to find out in this whole contest here, Rob.
You would love to see it. Right now, I still got fight of the night. BoneDoinWork versus Wordlife. So these guys, you know, they got to do a lot to get past that. But, you know, we'll see what happens here. Jorge Linares looking very intimidating in the corner, and I'm excited for this one. Another 10-rounder. Let's see what EyeGameYouWatch brings to the table. He's got the entertainment down, but does he have the skills? We're about to see Undisputed. Here we go.
Yeah, and I like the little camera angle they have here, a little bit of cinema right here, like we're watching Creed 3 or Rocky 4 a little bit. So far, again, the WokeSportsFan, I think he's in the red corner using Lee McGregor, and then also EyeGameYouWatch using Jorge Linares in the blue corner. And so far, we're going to have to see the aggressiveness. Both guys are trying to flow a little bit before they go super aggressive, but we see a little 1-2 coming out from WokeSportsFan and McGregor trying to play a little bit of the outside, trying to goad his opponent in. And so far, he's working really well with the jabs.
Right, yeah, he is. EyeGame is keeping his distance pretty nicely, and WokeSportsFan is bouncing around, throwing out those jabs, throwing out those straights, throwing out some hooks as well, just kind of trying to find his mark. Maybe a little far away here, though, Kingsley.
Yeah, a little far away. Oh, but the combinations coming in
hearing
from
that?
EyeGame. Yeah, I'm definitely hearing that. That's like you saw the punches, and the tenacity of the strikes coming in from EyeGame. That's working really well for him. But right now, we'll have to see. WokeSportsFan, we know that he wants to use the jab. He's using the body shots to change up his levels a little bit. But right now, if he gets close, how much is he going to use that jab to implement his game plan? Because with 1 minute left so far, I'm liking the combinations that we're seeing from EyeGameYouWatch.
Ooh, there's the entertainment coming out. A little shuffle step. Taunting early in round number 1, and very confident in that. Everything's kind of coming off that jab, the body jab, and he's comboing off in it really well. And you're seeing WokeSportsFan kind of struggling with the range a little bit, my brother.
Yeah, it seems like his best attribute or his best game plan so far is to bring his opponent in, go for the jabs, and try to make sure you trade in the pocket. Because if it's a distance game, I think he's not taking full advantage of the situations. Because we see EyeGame, he's using these combinations. He's able to use the straights, and it's working so well. It's like he has an eye tracking system in his head, and he's working really well with pinpoint precision with his striking.
EyeGameYouWatch has an eye tracking system. That's unfair, Kingsley.
Hey, I'm just saying, hey, it's in the name. Like, we have the commission here. They can talk about it back in the stage, and we'll have to find out. But going to the second round right here in the blue corner, EyeGame trying to find a way to avoid these strikes coming from McGregor. WokeSportsFan trying to play a little bit more of a distance, try to go for a straight right there, not really landing. Again, as we said before, distance game, not really the benefit of WokeSportsFan. Needs to bring his opponent in, go for the trades, because he's landing very nicely. It's just when it goes to distance, he's not getting the right reach into his game plan.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's got his distance or his timing. He's like treading at the outside of the octagon, or excuse me, the ring. And he's just, I believe his arms even look a little bit shorter. I would like to see what the reach is between these two. But yeah, it's just, comes in, does his damage, gets out, throws a taunt in there, and he just looks real comfortable in it. And it just seems like WokeSportsFan is not looking too comfortable in there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Oh, vicious left hook. Oh, and that top out.
Oh!
Shoveling his feet. Totally it's nothing but a G thing going inside the ring and just hitting him with vicious counters. But so far, EyeGameYouWatch, he is watching the striking, the fruits of its benefit working so well in this fight so far. We're going to 1 minute in the second round right here.
Oh, he's not even looking. Oh, he eats a couple though for that taunt. Makes him pay. He wasn't even looking. He was looking in the crowd. I think he saw his mom or something out there, but he's got to pay attention because he's still in there in the esports fight league. If you mess around too much, you could get detonated on Kingsley. We've seen it before.
Yeah, ask Victor Ortiz going against Floyd Mayweather. You try to be nice. You try to make sure you're out of boxing, but you have to keep your hands at all times up in their upright position for a switch. And my goodness, he's just, I feel like there's a little bit of bad blood in this contest right here, Rob.
Yeah, maybe a little, just a little mental warfare, just a little talk.
What? Wow, I didn't even know we had that. Do I have that? Oh, I don't think I have that. Faggot, give me a button like that. I want to buy like that because this is.
I stole it from Balian. I stole it. Went to his house. Stole that.
Incredible, but going back into this fight, basically we're seeing EyeGameYouWatch. He's working really well with his combinations, going inside to the pocket. But WokeSportsFan, even though he plays a little bit outside, I'm worried that he goes to the ropes and goes to the corner trying to goad his opponent in. Because even though he's working with his 1-2s, he needs to make sure he lands these combinations to the body, and he's doing so well. But you don't want to get hit with a counter and get hit with combinations like that there, Rob.
Yeah, you don't want to see it, and it's just the amount of time that he's giving EyeGame. He's giving him the whole ring. He's letting him taunt. He needs to come forward. He needs to get some respect. He needs to come, put some pressure on EyeGame and let him know, I'm here to fight, because EyeGame is just styling on him right now.
Yeah, 2 claps in the Ric Flair going into the hands of EyeGameYouWatch as he is trying to hit up his opponent, hit him with the figure 4 with a nice counter. But every time WokeSportsFan comes in, even though his best moves are going into the trade situation, he's getting hit every time he comes in. And the distance game is working so well for EyeGame, but WokeSportsFan getting a nice combination of himself, trying to go for a double straight, not really fully connecting with the block going up. But with closer approaching to the 1 minute mark, we'll have to see what the Cubby Bucks has to say in the 4th round. But so far, counters are working so well for EyeGameYouWatch.
Oh, so well. He's figured out the distance, his timing, his combinations, his selection, just everything on fire right now. And you're seeing the opposite for the WokeSportsFan. You're seeing a lot of punches swinging and missing. You're seeing him really struggle with the range of Linares, the body shots from Linares, and this is not looking good. And EyeGame in full control of this fight in round number 3.
Now, I have to ask you a question, Rob. Like,
what's up?
Would you taunt in the UFC or like any other fighting games? Like, would you try to go with this strategy? Do you think that like in the future rounds, will that take a little bit of foot off the gas? Might you lead up to like getting hit with some vicious counters, or are you trying to keep up that same consistency throughout the whole fight?
I'm taunting because obviously he feels confident. Obviously he's in the flow state. He's feeling good, and when you're having fun, you're performing well. So I would keep the taunts. I love it. It's always entertaining, and also can play a little bit of a mental game on your opponent. He's like, damn, this guy's really taunting on me. I can't hit him. This is not going well, and he could just sink. But he needs to rise to the occasion. He needs to, he needs to use that as fuel and get angry out there. We need some anger from the WokeSportsFan in the ring here, Kingsley.
Absolutely. This is where he needs to get very animated and go very cleanly with his striking, because every time I see a taunt from my opponent, I'm like, all right, you want to keep that energy? Keep that same energy when I knock you down to the ring and onto the mat. But right now, we're just seeing WokeSportsFan kind of be a little bit cautious. He wants to make sure he finds a right avenue, but this is where you got to get angry. This is like dodgeball. You got to throw the ball into your opponent's face and make sure you knock him down. But so far, it's like he's taking his time. He's trying to get his avenue in. But this is Rock taunting, insult to injury. Oh my goodness. He's not even going forward. He says, I got you. Back of my pocket right here, Rob.
He was pelvic thrusting in the center of the octagon. He's in a nightclub right now, and he's just boxing on the side.
No, that's like Hingle McCringerberry. Like 3 pumps, that's a flag. -5 yards, holding, I don't care. Take him off of the field. But so far, so good for EyeGameYouWatch. He is watching his opponent crumble into his hands. And so far, he's getting the right strikes. These combinations are working so well. going with a lean back like Fat Joe and working with these hooks. But so far, the body shots working really well. And this is where WokeSportsFan has to get angry now.
He does. He needs to come forward and just make this a fight at this point, because right now it's not going so well. Oh! A straight punch!
Oh, he pulled him with a Diaz socket. I can't believe it. I can't believe Wesley has entered the boxing ring, but this is where you need to be very careful of your EyeGameYouWatch. You could have the benefit of the doubt. We saw rocks happen, but you need to keep that same energy and be consistent with your striking. You need to make sure you win this round and make sure your opponent is down for the count.
Yeah, and it seems that power straight is the punch that Woke has chosen, because it's been the best punch he's thrown all night. But wow, that was a pretty good moment. And he hit the Diaz as well. I mean, that was just some pimp stuff.
It's just unbelievable. The braggadocious is alive in this ring. But going to the future of this regular season, again, this is 7 weeks. They just face other opponents. When opponents or people who might be future opponents of EyeGameYouWatch, when you see this kind of display, does it put more of a target on his back for future matchups?
It definitely could. Yeah, you know, you're coming in here, you wanna put down the showboater, but it also creates some hype for him as well. You know, he's doing something that nobody else is doing. He's taunting, he's having a good time, he's entertaining, and he's dominating this. So you know, why not?
Oh. And you saw like a left hook trying to land for WokeSportsFan, but not able to fully connect. We saw EyeGameYouWatch able to attack the body and go up to the head with a left hook, and it's just a nice counter. It just seems like he gets him in the corner and he's able to do anything he wants. And God, I'm very scared. Every time he does his shuffle, I feel like it takes like one little less frame for him to get back to his boxing stance, and he gets hit with a vicious strike.
Yeah, he's. Oh man, here comes the power shots though. Kingsley's in trouble. He's gonna go for the finish. Big body shots on the WokeSportsFan. He's just trying to survive hands up. And he's getting bodied early here. Left hook lands clean.
Everything is just clean. It's very precise. I mean, is it trash talk if you could back it up? I mean, he's talking the talk and he's walking the walk so far. 2 rocks onto his opponent, able to land these vicious hooks. And look at the distance, though, being able to
my goodness.
My God. He said, I dodged both of your strikes, and now I can just pretend like it's a nightclub. Just pulling some medium, pulling Skrillex, pulling Calvin Harris. We're just having a good old time. Where's the light show? Where's the strobe lights? It's just absolutely a fireworks showing for EyeGameYouWatch as he's putting on a show right here.
And he's letting the hooks fly, the power hooks. Eye is on his game here, and the Woke's just kind of throwing these jabs out, trying his best, but no big shots pouring in on the face of the WokeSportsFan. He's getting bodied out there.
Oh my God. Into the ropes. He's like, where'd you go? I'm right here. With the end of the round right there, he has his eyes on the prize and the eyes on his target, and so far, I don't know if you're a WokeSportsFan, where do you even go from here? Because so far, you got rocked twice. You try to do everything in your ability to disrupt the timing of your opponent. And so far, it hasn't done anything to dissuade your opponent from taunting you.
I don't think he can do anything at this point. I think we know who has the clear advantage here, who has the better combinations, who's coming with the confidence, and that is EyeGameYouWatch. And we're all watching right now. We're all watching him game. We're all watching him style right now on his opponent.
Hit him with a right hook, hit him with a left hook. Just constant punches, had him on the ropes. And look at that. Every time it goes like, come on, man. Are you kidding me? Now it's getting more crazy. He's trying to do it even closer to his opponent. He says, like, nothing you can stop me. I'm all the way up with my strike. And look at the combinations here, Rob.
That slip into that combination was beautiful. Bang! Left hand lands. Kingsley, the adrenaline flowing through Jorge Linares, and he's coming with the body shots. Big body shots all over the place. He's crippling his opponent, Kingsley.
Using all his stamina because he wants to put a stamp. He wants to put a period in the sentence of a match right here. Trying to go for the crazy strikes. This is purely cinema right here, with the angles, with the striking, with the prowess of EyeGameYouWatch, doing the best he can to take down his opponent. But WokeSportsFan, to his credit, he's still in the fight. Say what you want. We're under 1 minute. He still can fight.
Are you sure? Is he still in the fight?
You know
I don't know.
It's crazy. Has him in the corner. WokeSportsFan trying to get away, and it seems like he can't go inside. He can't go outside. There's nothing he could possibly do to change up his opponent's style.
And the right side of his face is nasty. It's bloody, it's damaged, and every time EyeGameYouWatch throws out a combination, it's that left hand, bang, 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 down he goes.
It goes down, and WokeSportsFan needs to awaken very quickly because we're getting closer and closer to the end of the round. And he gets out with the 6 count right there. But Rob, it was only a matter of time. We might see a knockout in this contest.
We were gonna sing a song earlier. I think this is the right moment. It's going down.
I'm yelling timber. It's
you better move. You better dance. Yeah, that's what I'm. He better move. He better move. He better dance, right, Kingsley? Because he's getting his booty whooped right now.
Scorecards don't lie, apparently, because my goodness, he is not a fan of Pitbull or Kesha, but he's getting knocked out every single time. It's like a football in his hands. Because EyeGameYouWatch is on a mission trying to bring his opponent down and get the clean 3 points.
He's holding his block for dear life out there.
Oh, well, we might not see a 2-0 for the Scottish fighters.
Oh!
He did a taunt straight to his face, and he couldn't capitalize. He has this guy stuck, rattled, dazzled, bejeweled, everything you could say in an adjective. He has his opponent, EyeGameYouWatch. He's putting on a clinic right now.
I think we might be in a...
Oh, see
ya!
Oh, and that's it. Night.
Woo! Good night. Sleep tight.
Brings his opponent down and takes the not 1, not 2, but a clean 3 points to start off the season. And now he's our leading competitor in the regular season here, Rob.
I mean, that was the most dominant performance that we've seen so far today. I mean, yeah, that was a one-hitter quitter. I mean, that was nasty, devastating. EyeGameYouWatch, he's come, and he's here to conquer.
Just, like, look at the scorecard. He has not lost a single freaking round in that whole contest. And he was able to get the knockout before we went to the very later parts of the round. So, if I'm other competitors, and you saw the taunting, and you saw all that braggadocious stuff, I'm like, all right, target number 1, I'm writing in my list right now. I need to stop this guy as much as possible.
Yes, he is going to get a lot of fans from that. He's going to, the hype is building, accumulating now. We're going to remember EyeGameYouWatch, and his next opponent, he's going to know, hey, this guy's confident. He's going to bring it to the table. He's got very good skills, and he is an entertainer. We all know why his TikTok is popping. We're gonna be watching out for this one.
These darn TikTokers just going crazy with their youthful mobility, taunting their opponents. With
hey, who am I? Who am I?
Oh, okay. All right,
hey! We've never seen a pelvic thrust, Kingsley, in the ESFL, bro.
We actually saw history, and we're gonna see more history because these fights have been absolutely crazy. But the most insult to injury performance I ever seen in the ESFL. Hopefully we get that clip on YouTube because that's gonna be interesting to see what the analysis from Crooks or Romero, what they're gonna be thinking about that fight. But so far we're past all these fights. We're still in the later parts of these contests. So far we have our fight of the night. I think that might be a performance of the night with EyeGameYouWatch being a clean 6-0 and getting a knockout right there, Rob.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if it's fight night because his opponent didn't really create a fight. It was more of like a bully beatdown. Have you ever seen that show? And yeah, I definitely think performance of the night though. That was a performance of the night. We got to mark him down for that for sure. Far right so far.
Bully beatdown, what a throwback. That's like, that actually took me back. I was like, God, that was on MTV, the music television network, and they had all that craziness. But yeah, that was exactly like bully beatdown. He just beat the snot out of him and just taught him like, yeah, I'm the bully now. What you gonna do about it? But speaking of which, we still have a lot more contests, even though it's all fun and games. This one might not be a lot of fun for both of these competitors because this is for serious points, for serious business to get into the playoffs, as our fight number 5 is coming along the way. KYoungButta, who's been in the ESFL Las Vegas, and there's trying to fix stamina in the fighter select screen. KYoungButta going against Lasso, whatever you call it, or how do you say his name? I'm sure someone will correct me in the back. But in the middleweight division, this is a very exciting fight to see here, Rob.
Yo, it definitely is because you're getting a guy in KYoungButta with so much experience in competition. He was, I believe, a top 8 at the Esports Fight League event. This guy's got some strike, and what makes him so dangerous in the UFC games is his striking. I mean, he does have the ground game, he has the clinch game, but it's his striking that makes him so lethal and so deadly. So I'm sure he's gonna be able to bring that over to the Boxing Undisputed game. And his opponent, Lasso, I don't know, man. I'm not sure too much about
I
this
love
guy,
Lasso.
but he's got a tough fight ahead of him.
Let's see. We'll go with that. But speaking of what you said about Losoooo, this could be a very excellent matchup. But going back to KYoungButta, because I asked both of these competitors what they're thinking about this whole contest. With KYoungButta, as you said, he is expected to fight his fight because he doesn't really know about Losoooo, about what he does in the Undisputed ring. But with his situation, what I talked to him, because with an actual title on the line like it was in Las Vegas, what does it mean in a season like this? What it means for him is that to have a real title on the line was resurgence. He was in the top 8 of the ESFL Las Vegas event, and he lost his chance at the title at the virtual MMA side. Now he's looking to come back to bring some resurgence and make sure he goes for the to make his brand a little bit bigger and go for that title. But for Losoooo, for his comments, I asked him, going against KYoungButta, what is your strategy heading to the first match? How do you feel about going training for this matchup? Here's what his 3-word statement was: Butter, who's that? So already the disrespect is in this contest, but he's looking to fight his fight. He's looking to bring his caliber up where he goes beyond KYoungButta. So this contest already has a lot of stakes going to this whole situation in this regular season here, Rob.
KYoungButta is one you don't want to trifle with. I believe he just graduated as well. Congratulations. KYoungButta on top of the world right now. A lot of confidence. And Losoooo said, "Who are you?" And I don't know, that this is creating some bad blood early between these two competitors. And that's what you like to see. Little bad blood, baby. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say that, like, while we're still waiting for them to get into the lobby, when I first read that comment, I had to double check my glasses and be like, "You actually? Oh, he actually said that. Okay, all right." But going for Losoooo, for what he wants to bring into the table, he wants to compete out of this league. He used to compete when the game first dropped, and he wants to try to bring his UFC side of things into Undisputed. So he's coming out to bring a big statement, going to get someone as high caliber as KYoungButta. But with a Roy Jones Jr. and a Sugar Ray Leonard, more of the meta picks that we saw in rank competition, but with the 7-meter and the meter going very big. This is going to be a big contest in this situation here, Rob.
Yeah, and here we go. We got the fight, and man, these picks are going to be crazy because both guys are going to be very fast, very reactive. We know Sugar Ray Leonard, he's so hard to hit, so hard to pin down. But Roy Jones Jr., the left hook, the explosiveness, and you saw the fights played. Damn, Losoooo has a lot of fights, a lot of experience. You saw KYoungButta also has a lot of fights and a little bit better, or maybe a lot better, of a win rate percentage. This guy is very lethal with his striking. Pay attention. And with Sugar Ray Leonard, versus Roy Jones Jr., Kingsley, I'm getting excited here.
Yeah, business is about to pick up, and this is only our 5th fight out of 8, and we still have plenty more to go. Again, JMMA is coming along the wings. FightNightsFinest versus Joooobe. Pryoxis versus Jshep is our main event, so a lot to look forward to. A lot of great things are coming along the ways, but going back into this contest right here, Sugar Ray Leonard, we know he has stamina out the wazoo. He could go for days and go for 10 rounds. But Roy Jones Jr., the power, the evasiveness. There's a reason why his signature button was leaning back and hitting you with a vicious left straight to the dome, and it brings people down. There's a reason why these two are both legends. And with KYoungButta and Losoooo going to this contest, they need to show up and show out. And here we go. Again, in the blue corner, Roy Jones Jr. being used by Lasso, and Sugar Ray Leonard being used by KYoungButta in the red corner. And so far, a little bit of a filling out process. So far, both guys don't want to go super crazy. They want to figure out how to fight their own fight here, Rob.
I'm getting a little bit of lag here. I'm not sure if you are, but
I'm getting a little bit of lag here, but I think it's only on our side. But the people in the chat can see the match. But so far, hopefully that can pick up. But so far we're seeing punches and bunches. It seems like both guys are training into the pocket and not taking a step back here. It seems like we might have
All right. Yeah, both guys coming to the middle of the ring and just doing really good here, throwing some punches. But you're seeing KYoungButta throwing the better punches, maybe. But I don't know. It seems like Losoooo is throwing some nice ones as well. Both guys landing very, very nicely.
Yeah, very nicely indeed. And this is what you expect from guys who've been playing this game for like months on now from the early beginning of early access. But so far, the left hook landing for Sugar Ray Leonard, KYoungButta putting the action onto his opponent. But again, a little bit of trade-off. Both guys are going for the strikes. We're seeing a little bit of clean gameplay right here. Not really as much as we're seeing as we're approaching the 1 minute mark.
Where did the sound come from? I'm loving this. There was no. Oh my goodness! Big shot. KYoungButta's hurt.
Oh my God!
Shot to the body.
That's the guy I'm rocking right now, as Lasso is doing such a good job already that we talked about. Roy Jones Jr. has the power. If you're not too careful, you will get easily rocked in those situations. So with KYoungButta, now he needs to adapt his gameplay because he can't get easily rocked like that again. Oh, but a vicious left hooks landing from Roy Jones Jr. as he is attacking the body and going to levels and making his opponent miss as much as he can.
Yeah, and moving really well, just kind of stepping out of the way. His footwork is on point, staying out of the danger zone from Sugar Ray Leonard's punches. And there you go, round one. I think goes into the favor of Losoooo, starting out well.
Yeah, Lasso has done a nice job so far. The fact that he was look, he still has 99% stamina, even though he's going for all those power punches and rock his opponent. He has still plenty of stuff in his capital, in his stamina capital, to implement his game plan. So far, of KYoungButta's game plan to let him fight his fight, I feel like he needs to adapt and make sure he beats the more proactive fighter in this second round right here.
Yeah, he tried to. It was hard to kind of watch that first round. Round number 2, we're going to really see, how it evolves here. But somehow, yeah, he caught him early. I didn't even see what it was. But here comes KYoungButta in round number 2, kind of trying to find that body punch. But Roy Jones Jr. is taking the center of the ring pretty nice.
Yeah, and a good counter landing for both of these fighters going back and forth. So far, Roy Jones Jr., Losoooo is doing such a nice job taking center ring, being very meticulous with his movements, not fully backing up, but staying in a boxer's range where he could take the step back and avoid the puncher's strikes from that very nice range. Meanwhile, KYoungButta trying to go inside, trying to go for the body uppercut, not really fully connecting in those situations. Needs to find a way to get back and find a phone booth.
Yeah, and that left side of Roy Jones' face is open. He's using that special block, which covers his body pretty nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. And so far, we've seen KYoungButta try to close the distance a little bit more, but I'm loving what Roy Jones Jr. is doing right here. Even though he's getting hit right here, he's taking his time, doing a little bit of setback, not like a full setback as we saw in the previous fight, but just a little minor setback to find his range. This is what he wants to do. He wants to make sure he gets his opponent into a reacting situation and then capitalize on the punishment, but he can't get countered like that every single time as we're under the 1 minute mark.
No, he can't. No, he can't. A left hook there, and good. I believe is the Philly shell that Roy's implementing there.
Yeah, a little bit, a little variation, a little bit more
okay.
to the side, a little bit instead of straight into his face.
How you feeling about KYoungButta here? Is he kind of standing his ground? He's trying to look for that body, but he's getting tagged up a bit, huh?
My thing is, he needs to get up a little bit close, because if he keeps on fighting in this distance, like, he's getting some very nice counters. I'm just worried about him whipping his punches as we go into a little bit of a segue, as we're just getting our party on, as we're hopefully get back to the action right here, as we're back to the screen. Sometimes these things happen. So sometimes, hey, things are live. Welcome to the ESFL. We do it live here. We do everything in live broadcast. But as we saw there, I want to see more from KYoungButta with his strike implemented. I want him to see like more strikes going inside to the pocket. As we get back to the action from that little momentary break right there.
There we go. There we go. Here we go. Round number 3, and could be up 2-0 for Losoooo. Let's see how KYoungButta adjusts here. He does a good job taking the center of the octagon, or the ring. My goodness, he does a good job taking the center. But it's just the rank, it's the length and the distance and the size of Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing, the size and the length, and he probably has the longer reach compared to Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard is an all-around, all world-class boxer, but when you're going against Roy Jones Jr., who probably has more power, more reach, that has to play more of an effect and more of an advantage for Losoooo. But oh my God, vicious straights onto the head, double the act on that situation right there. And so far, Roy Jones Jr., I just love the distance. I love the play. The hooks are landing very nicely, and he's taking his time being like a full actual boxer in that ring.
He is. He's being very mindful of his distance, of his timing. He's backing up, throwing that straight out there, you know, keeping himself protected with the block. And Butta's having some trouble finding his offensive rhythm here in round number 3 earlier in this fight.
Yeah, and so far, again, we've seen comebacks happen before. If he's able to adapt and figure out his Roy Jones Jr.'s game plan, maybe he can find his chance to like enter back in this contest. But so far, it's looking so well. As we get maybe a little bit of a replay, a little bit of a picture-in-picture situation. The action's so nice that we have to see it twice right here. But so far, Roy Jones Jr. Losoooo is doing so well. But I'm sure a lot of people in the back are going to ask for a lot of demerits from this whole contest. But so far, at least we're seeing a little bit of more striking coming from Losoooo in this contest.
Yeah, and it's so hard to go against this style against, you know, a player like Roy Jones Jr. playing in this manner, because he's going to stay at distance. And he's so fast, he's so explosive, and when you're just using that jab, using that block, I mean, it's really hard to enter into that defense and do some damage. So I'm really intrigued to see how KYoungButta decides to change up the strat a little bit, because right now it just seems like he's just a step behind Losoooo's game plan.
Yeah, and also a very interesting thing that we're seeing here, Roy Jones Jr., even though he has a lot of stamina at 92%, he's deceitfully low on his health compared to going to the 3rd round, because I think he's at 85%, which I thought the way the match was going, I think he will be at least above a 90% in this health wise. So maybe something's working to the benefit of KYoungButta. Maybe he's chipping away in his contest, even though the CopyBox prediction score says it's all 3 rounds to Roy Jones Jr.
And there you go. Yeah, starting out good, 3 rounds in the bank. And now it's up to KYoungButta. Ooh, there it is. Nice left hand to start off. Right hand. Big power shots coming in. Now KYoungButta is kind of changing the tone of the fight.
Yeah, the tone of the fight could easily be changed by KYoungButta, but KYoungButta needs to get the 3rd counter already in the 1st minute of this round right here. And this is what he needs. He needs to get inside. Don't play the disc game. Make your opponent try to throw some very crazy side step and get those counters working. And so far, body shots working very nicely. It seems like Losoooo is not really comfortable playing more into the bumble. He needs to have that distance. You can see him trying to get that distance back here again right here, Rob.
Well, now you're seeing KYoungButta. He's moving left and right, taking a lot more angles. So those straight punches are gonna be whiffing past, and he's gonna counter. You've seen him counter with that left hand on those steps, and now he's starting to find his rhythm here. KYoungButta starting to land some big shots.
Yeah, this is a whole flip changer of the book right here. KYoungButta has been finding success throughout this whole round, and this is going to be very interesting how we see the health of Roy Jones Jr. because Losoooo, even though he's getting some strikes, now he's getting hit with his own capabilities, and in the phone booth, it might not be the best attribute. Even though he goes for a backside, going for a left hook right there, not fully connecting. The block gauge has been working so well for KYoungButta, but now the body shot's landing, and so far, under 1 minute, going to the 40th mark, it could be KYoungButta's round.
Definitely. He's standing a lot closer, avoiding a lot of these shots. You're not seeing Roy just, able to pitter-patter back up, pop, pop, pop. Now he's getting popped by a left hook over and over again. He's still kind of finding his mark a little bit, but definitely KYoungButta looks like he's taking this round.
Yeah, and what can he put a stamp on it? Because you never know what the judges are going to score this card or this round. But trying to go for the bite right there as we end the 4th round, going to the 5th round. Let's see what Roy Jones Jr.'s stamina and health is. 81% for health, 89 for stamina. So stamina-wise, he's looking really good. And a little bit less of health depletion from the previous round. I think it was 89, now going to 81. So still on a consistent pace where he can still keep up this action that he has in these couple of rounds.
You think that KYoungButta maybe stole round number 4 there, Kingsley, or do you think it's still an avalanche here for Mr. Losoooo?
I think definitely KYoungButta has taken that round just because the counters, the way he's found in phone booth, attacking the body. I love the way he was more aggressive into that round. So he's finding more of his fight. We'll have to see if he does it in this round. But so far, if he keeps it, but that's a bad start for KyoungButta because now 2 counters along with the combinations, that's not going to look good for the scorecards. But this is where he needs to find his way back. He needs to find his way back in the phone booth and work his combinations just like that. A little jab straight, work his benefit. But every time he goes in, make sure he first avoids the first punch and goes in with a combination of his own.
Yeah, now you're seeing Losoooo make an adjustment to KyoungButta's adjustment. Now you're seeing the footwork, the movement from KyoungButta left and right. Losoooo recognizing this, and he's throwing a lot more body shots, a lot more hooks, and he's doing some good work here in round number 5.
Yeah, and so far you saw Losoooo. He tried to go for an uppercut right there and got hit with a nice jab hook. Every time it goes for like a differentiating strike rather than the jab or the straight, it seems like it leaves him open to get hit with a hook or a punch going straight to his face. But a counter like that, that's going to work really well for the scorecards. But so far, the distance game working very well, but needs to be very careful on this phone booth.
He does. He's both guys need to be very careful, and KyoungButta trying to get inside of the range and try to find some offense. But this round, it just seems like Losoooo is just letting it fly a little bit with some good shots, some good round shots as KyoungButta is kind of moving left and right, and KyoungButta struggling a little bit in round number 5.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing from KyoungButta is like he's entering the pocket in his block, but then he lets go, getting ready for a strike. And as soon as he does that, he gets popped with a straight or a left hook coming from Roy Jones Jr. So if he's able to keep that block, just like wait for the first strike, then go in this combination, I feel like he has a lot more success as he did right there with a counter.
Definitely, and maybe throw a couple right hands on the inside. You're seeing that block. The left side of Roy Jones' face is susceptible, but Losoooo is doing a job of, blocking orthodox. What'd you say? Ooh, what'd you see?
Well, interesting. I saw from the health. I'm sorry that I keep on like pinpointing it, but from 81 to 71, 10% decrease going into the 6th round. So even though it seems like Roy Jones Jr. is getting the benefit of the doubt, I feel like that's gonna be really key because we saw an early rock onto the face of KyoungButta. But if Losoooo plays with his food, he might get rocked here in this round.
For sure. Yeah, KyoungButta has the ability to kind of light up his opponent, and he had a really good round number 4. Round number 5 was a little bit more even. Round number 6, very important for KyoungButta to get this one in the bag so the snowball does not continue for Losoooo in this fight.
Yeah, even though a nice counter from Losoooo, we saw a nice left hook landing from KyoungButta. KyoungButta, nice, I think a little bit of a right straight from the connection to the face. But again, the counters are going to play a huge factor. And when you're into this pocket, you try to go for a power punch. If you over whiff on the hook right there, you're leaving yourself open for KyoungButta. And KyoungButta, find his phone booth, stay in this position where he wants to be, not want to play distance game, attack of the body. It looks like it's been his round so far.
Yeah, he's standing right inside of the pocket with that block up, daring to exchange with Losoooo, getting the better of these exchanges as well, keeping that block high, moving pretty well. Both guys trying to find their mark here. Body shots being thrown out. Oh, big shots for both gentlemen.
I think he let go of the block at the last second there and he got hit with a counter. So with KyoungButta, I love what he's doing. He's trying to lean a little bit to the side a little bit, but getting the benefit of the shots, and it's working really well. If he just comes in, oh my goodness.
Getting the call.
Oh,
the girlfriend's calling.
But put the controller down. ESFL is here live, okay?
Little distractions, right? A lot of distractions for Losoooo right now.
And we're back into the fight. Everything is absolutely crazy and insane, but hey, that's what you expect in the ESFL. Sometimes you expect the craziness of a fight to happen. We saw a bunch of taunts. Sometimes you see a little bit of craziness in our production, but hey, we're still here having a great time having these fights. But under 10 seconds, we'll have to see what the copy box says, because going into 7th round, we're going to see the predictions. But so far, you have to think this is still Losoooo's fight to lose in this situation.
Very true, Kingsley. A very close fight. But how do you think it affects your mental game when your woman or your girlfriend is calling,
oh man,
wanting your attention in the middle of such an important fight?
Hey, I mean, it goes back to what we saw last night with Amanda Nunes. She won her dominant fight, but the tasking is not about just getting into the ring. It's all about the distractions or the responsibilities that you have outside the ring where you can't pull your full focus. So sometimes, even though you want to completely focus on the fight, if you get like a call or something like that, sometimes it takes you out of your rhythm and you can't really fully focus. But as you saw there, the comedy box has a Lasso winning every single round. So it's up to KYoungButta. What can he do to come back and find his way back into this fight right here, Rob?
That's very true. He's down 6 rounds, so he needs to have some 10-8 rounds. He needs to probably get a finish and start trying to chip away at the chin held and make this maybe a little bit more of a chippy brawl sort of fight. And he needs to start now because he doesn't have that many rounds left here, Kingsley.
Yeah, and the interesting thing that we've seen from a couple of fighters in this similar type of situation in this previous card, it seems like people wait till the 9th or the 10th round to fully put into full gear. I want to see if Kane Butter can just throw the kitchen sink now, be a little bit more aggressive than what he's currently been doing. Because so far, what you've been doing, whether you thought it was working with the counters or finding the phone booth, it hasn't been working. So sometimes you have to give one to take one, and hopefully he implements that strategy. But so far, Roy Jones Jr., Lasso, he's doing so well that he doesn't need to fight the other person's fight. He could just control the way he's doing, just keep it consistently, and he'll be able to get the victory right here.
Yeah, seems like he's on the pathway to victory, but KYoungButta is, plodding forward with that block up, and he's throwing out those left hooks, and he is connecting time and time again. It's just he's not able to put it enough together to get a rock or to get a knockdown, and that's a testament to the Losoooo defense. Also playing Roy Jones Jr., he's very hard to hit sometimes if you're moving well, and he's got some ferocious strikes as well. So it's a tall task here for Mr. KYoungButta in round number 7.
Yeah, and you can see in this movement right there, he's just standing in the pocket. He's trying to come forward, not really a backstep in his game plan anymore. With 5 seconds left to go, he needs to keep up the consistency of staying in his opponent's face. Because you see, Lasso, he's just willing to go forward, but also lean back or lean to the side. He's not really moving his back as much. So if he's able to stay in that pocket, he will have chances to fight in this contest. But for KYoungButta, he needs to do a lot more if he wants to stay in this contest.
It's going to be a tough task, but still round number 8, 9, and 10, 3 rounds to go. Looks like they're taking their time to get their breath, to recalibrate the mind, to focus on the strategy here. And look, the health that you were pointing out, 57%. It is dwindling a bit, but I don't know how low can that go until you just can't take any more shots, until your chin is done. So we'll see here. Round number 8. I'm excited to see what KYoungButta does this round.
Yeah, KYoungButta needs to put his foot on the gas, pedal to the metal, and find his way in. But the main struggle about it is that maybe Lasso saw his health and wants to move back a little bit. But in this, oh my goodness, this is a huge opportunity for KYoungButta, but he doesn't take advantage. He saw his opponent do the same strike 3 times in a row, and that depleted his stamina. He needs to have awareness where he could take advantage, and he'll find his way back in. But Roy Jones Jr., Lasso, he needs to be very careful of being a little bit too nonchalant with his striking.
I'm not sure if I'm lagging or if you're lagging. Take it away, Kingsley. Something is
no
not
problem.
going right on my end.
It's all good. We got you. So we're talking about part of this fight right here, and we're seeing good little counters from KYoungButta. KYoungButta trying to find his way back into this contest, but needs to go a little bit forward. He's already halfway through the 8th round in this situation, but so far, Lasso still fighting his fight, always going with the block, always leading in with the block, making sure his opponent throws him, then he's coming out with a little bit of a strike. But so far, we'll have to see what goes in this contest because KYoungButta, he's trying to attack a fight and then go back up. He makes his opponent whiff on a looping hook right there. But so far, KYoungButta, so far, trying to find his way back in. Getting a nice counter into the face. But now he needs to make sure he turns it up to 11 because even though he's having success, it's not going to win him the fight if he goes to just the scorecards here, Rob.
No, it's not, but he's drilling him I'm seeing some big body shots from KYoungButta, starting to turn up the heat here and landing some nice shots, but the blocking is so good on Lasso. And with Roy Jones Jr., you have the ability to just move and just slip out of the way and devastate with a counter. So it's such a hard task sometimes when you're trying to put away Roy Jones Jr., because in doing so, you might, get yourself put out as well. So good fight so far, but Lasso still in the commanding lead.
Yeah, commanding lead, and I think he even improved his health because he wasn't taking as much damage as possible. I think it went from a 51 now went to a 54. So with the stamina, with his health, not really mainly a concern because if KO'Butta keeps on this consistently throughout the rounds, he doesn't have a shot in the dark going in this contest. So we'll have to see. This is round number 9, so he has 2 more rounds to even get a rock or a knockdown to change up the whole equation. But KO'Butta, he's trying to attack the body. I love what he's trying to do, mix up the level so he could get his opponent to block a little bit low, but there's not really much body health been depleted from those strikes right there, Rob.
For sure, for sure. And now you're seeing both guys just standing right in front of each other, blocks high. The jab being thrown out by Losoooo to keep KYoung at bay. KYoung targeting that body. He wants to chip away, maybe open up the top defenses by going and digging. But man, Roy Jones' defense just too strong.
Yeah, Losoooo doing such a nice job again with the distance, not really taking a backside, but actually using the left analog to move all his way back and make sure he got his opponent in a compromising situation. But look at that, just able to
Ooh.
land on the body and go straight to the head. Even though we see KYoungButta, he's leaning forward with his block. It seems like he's just getting picked about every single time he goes into the pocket with Losoooo.
Definitely, definitely. Losoooo's just on fire here, just defensive juggernaut, just not really taking any risks, just kind of flowing to the finish line here. Sees the light at the end of the tunnel and just kind of staying on that trajectory.
Yeah, and Rob, for a question for you, if you're in KYoungButta's situation where you know you're down in the fight, and you feel like there's not really much you can do except like keep trucking along with it, are you trying to bank some shots in the memory for your next fight? Are you thinking of the next fight going into this contest, or are you still trying to be in the moment even though you're down in the scorecards?
Yeah, I think a little bit of frustration is kicking in. I think in this game, unlike UFC, you can't really just put the pressure and block break your opponent to death.
Mhm.
You kind of have to, break them down slowly. And with Roy Jones Jr. and especially Losoooo playing him, if you get someone that's real good on their back foot, moves well, blocks well, counters well, it's a really hard position to be in. And I think KyoungButta, his head's working. He's like, how can I do this? He still believes. I know he's got the confidence to finish the fight, but he just doesn't have the answer. And it's really hard in this game to finish your opponent off when you're down like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And then going on to the point of Lasso, even though we're down to the final round, we'll have to see what the Copy Box prediction scores is going to be. We're expecting every single round to be in favor. Oh, we see one round was for KYoungButta, and that was the
Yep.
seventh round. So 89 to 82 in favor of Lasso. But for Lasso, on the opposite side, going to his next kind of matchup, now there's tape on him. He called out KYoungButta, said Butter who's sad, and says he's gonna put on a showcase and implement his style of fighting for his next opponent. What can you see him doing to repeat the same performance that he has in this fight that he has right here?
I mean, just more of the same as what he's doing now. Moving well. Pop shotting, being defensive. KYoungButta though he's digging to the body pretty nicely. And he's putting some pressure on his opponent. He's landing some good shots. It's just a little bit tough sometimes to go in. These two throwing and he really trying to find his rhythm. He's trying to find a way to crack the defense, Kingsley.
Yeah, he's trying so hard to find a way to get into this contest. We see counters coming in, but Roy Jones Jr. for Lasso, I feel like this has been the most complete game plan from like the first round into the 10th round of what we've seen of a dominant fashion. Usually, what we saw from like EyeGameYouWatch is that he put on his opponent, he was able to get a knockout. I felt like for Lasso, his game plan was executed from round 1 to round 10, and it was hard to top from KYoungButta, even though he's getting hit with some vicious counters right here.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Vicious counters. He's trying to make it a little bit risky. He's trying to let it all hang out in there. And when you're doing that, you're gonna take punches. You're gonna, oh man, like right there.
Oh,
That's what that's the danger of trying to risk it. But you like to see that from KYoungButta. You want, damn.
vicious knockdown happened, and it was only a matter of time. We saw the early rocks before, and then we saw Lasso take his opportunity to knock down his opponent to put a definitive stamp. Not gonna get the knockdown, not gonna get the 3 points because I think that would lead it into the final round. But there it is, Lasso dominant victory, able to get the 10-8 round in that last 10th round, and now not even getting 3 points, but gets a solid 2 points to bring him up to the leaderboards.
There you go. Losoooo taking out a very dangerous opponent in KYoungButta, showing that he is here to compete. Losoooo, Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, that was a good, a dominant round or dominant performance throughout that fight. You know, nice and technical and defensive and careful, and flowed all the way to that victory there over KYoungButta.
Yeah, and the craziest stat is that it was like 43% total strikes line into 39. So barely anything was working so well for KYoungButta. Hopefully he's able to adapt. Again, this is only 1 week out of 7, so there's plenty of time to find your way back and go into the top playoff season or playoff situation. Because again, it's only 16 fighters, so half of those will go to the playoffs and fight for the illustrious ESFL Undisputed title, which is, it looks absolutely beautiful when we saw it on Twitter and on the Discord. Because let me tell you, I saw the ESFL Las Vegas belt, that looked amazing. But this Undisputed belt, I'm jealous of the person who's actually going to take that belt at the end of this whole season here, Rob.
Yes, that belt is going to be beautiful. The ESFL belt was so heavy. It was so well made. It was history, you know, almost better than the BMF belt that Dustin and Justin are going to be fighting for later this year. But, you know, I cannot wait for this next fight because we got a couple legends here. Kingsley, we got JMMA and Pablo Grips. What do you know about these two?
Yeah, we have a lot of information on them, and it's going to be an exciting fight. But I think we're going to take a short intermission before we get into our last couple of 3 fights to make sure everything is all set up for you guys. So we will be right back. Stay tuned for a couple more fights.
All right.
Defending ESFL Undisputed Champion of the World.
Welcome back, everybody. Again, look at that belt that you just saw. Doesn't it look amazing? That is what everyone is fighting for in this new season of the ESFL, in this new game, Undisputed. 16 guys, 8 are going to make it to the playoffs. 3 points for a knockout, 2 points if you get a win. A lot of big things happening in this new season. And so far, Rob, we had so many amazing fights that we had so far. Do you think we'll see a little bit more coming up in these next 3 fights right here?
You know, I think we're gonna see some great fights coming up here because yeah, JMMA versus Pablo Grips. Pablo's, JMMA, boxing expert, entertainer, Pablo Grips, UFC dog at ESFL, and then you got FightNightsFinest versus Joooobe, and then you got the main event, Pryoxis versus JxShepp. Any card Pryoxis is on is a great card.
Yeah, to think about all the fights that we had so far, and the fact that we still had 3 amazing fights with high-profile names is actually amazing. And then the fact that we're going to see more of this every single Sunday for 7 weeks is going to be amazing to see here on Twitch and in our YouTube library. And then if you ever want to be a part of this, you could be signing up for our Discord. You could get the latest news, get all the latest happenings. You can even talk to us. We're always on the Discord, looking about, seeing what's happening in the community. A lot of great things happening alongside the way. But it seems like we're in the lobby for our 6th fight of the night. And again, we're trying to figure out the modifiers, but JMMA versus Pablo Grips is our next contest. And Rob, when I talked to JMMA and asked him a couple of questions, he said he was pretty excited going to the ESFL Undisputed season. He said 3 members of the Toon Squad from last season, Pryoxis, Darkside, FightNightsFinest, and more. So they're finally able to showcase what they've been working on since the early access, the beta side of Undisputed. So hopefully they're trying to see what they could do in the regular season when it's all on the line in this situation.
And that's a dangerous trio there. JMMA, FightNightsFinest, and Pryoxis, the Toon Squad, making their impact in the community. Into the UFC community, now into the Undisputed community. Just a dynamic fight camp, and they're here to showcase their skills. So this is the first one. JMMA, a little pressure on his back because if he wins, then maybe they can go 3-0. If he loses, that dream goes out the window. But he's going against Pablo Grips, and Pablo Grips is a dynamic, ferocious UFC striker. And we're getting a little boxing versus UFC in this card. So this is kind of fun.
Yeah, and one of the main things that JMMA said before when he was looking forward to what the strategies are going to be from people from the UFC going to Undisputed is like the main takeaway is like we'll finally get to see who truly understands what they're doing versus just knowing how to use the meta. While the game is slowly progressing to the meta getting easier to beat, he doubts that any UFC 4 players would be using analog lock because the muscle memory might be playing a situation where that might take over. So will it be muscle memory versus how the game actually runs with the analog stick? We'll have to find out. So
we diving deep into it, ain't we?
Yeah, we're going to the minutia of everything. But as we see in this heavyweight matchup, JMMA said he would be a fool to not pick Tyson Fury, while we see his opponent Pablo Grips going with the float like a butterfly, seen like a bee, the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. A dream matchup you will only see here in Undisputed in the ESFL. I'm excited to see how this plays out because we know that Muhammad Ali, he has the footwork of a champion. He has the power of a champion. His evasiveness is amazing. But Rob, Tyson Fury, he's the Gypsy King for a reason here, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Muhammad Ali, probably one of the most OP characters in the game. We all know that. I'm not sure where he's got, like, what's happened with these latest patches. I know they've kind of slowed down the same side strikes, but Tyson Fury, he's very, very long, very awkward, and he's hard to, put away. So if he uses that distance well, JMMA is going to be a force to be reckoned with here, Kingsley.
Absolutely. And again, JMMA is in the blue corner using Tyson Fury, and Pablo Grips in the red corner using Muhammad Ali. And already we're seeing the rinksmanship from Pablo Grips taking more of the inside track going forward against his opponent right here. While JMMA taking his time, by this time trying to fill out the process, while we see Pablo Grips kind of whipping on the strikes, not really in distance. In JMMA, I feel like this is what his game plan is going to be. He's trying to play a little bit more defensive in the early rounds, then going into the game. He's trying to be a boxer in that this type of contest right here, Rob.
Yeah, 100%. Coming out of that Toon Squad, going against guys like Pryoxis, that technical prowess is going to come out. They're going to sharpen each other's blades, and they're going to, fight very, very well. So you're going to see a very cerebral approach here, and you're already seeing The jabs. Look how much smaller Tyson Fury's gloves look than Muhammad Ali's. That's not fair.
Hey, 1960s versus 2020 gloves. Anything was a little bit bigger back then. But with Muhammad Ali, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Pablo Grips. Even though he's getting hit a bit, he's not afraid to trade. He wants to go inside the pocket. He's not moving back as much. He wants to go forward and find his opponent. The main issue that I have for him is that every time he plays this distance game, he needs to make sure that he actually lands on his opponent. JMMA is doing such a nice job defensively with his distance that I feel like it's giving Pablo Grips a little bit of trouble trying to find his ability to strike against his opponent.
100%. You're seeing the footwork from JMMA backing up, and then as soon as the approach comes from Pablo Grips, he just kind of tags him right there with the jab straight. He's just kind of, peppering up with these shots and a smooth round there, I think, for JMMA. What do you think there, King?
Well, we'll have to find out. I'm predicting that so far, JMMA, this is the right strategy they want to have. I feel like he might turn it up in the later rounds. We'll have to see, but this is more of a filling out process. So the fact that he barely used any of his stamina, he has 97 health. That's going to be a big win for him going to the second round. But hey, enough of my predictions. What do you guys predict in the chat, in our Twitch chat? We still have our predictions still going for this matchup and for the rest of our matchups. So be sure to put your channel points on the line to see who you think is going to win in this whole contest. But again, going back into the fight, JMMA still consistently using the distance, making sure that Pablo Grips whips on his strikes and make sure that if he's going to come in, he needs to fully commit on his striking.
Yes, sir. In round number 2, we'll see how Pablo Grips decides to approach this strategy, and he's just kind of going right into the face, just throwing some hooks, nice little straight on the inside as well, and the jab still coming out, just kind of peppering him as JMMA.
Yeah, and so far we're seeing such a great job from JMMA, and it's going to be a little bit tough. We saw a little bit of dominant performance in the previous fights, but it counters like that could change up everything. But it seems like the backstepping, everything has a purpose when it comes to JMMA. Oh, put a purpose with a counter. Oh my God, what the hell? Whoa, is that? Oh my God, the backstep into a straight from Pablo Grips, and then instant knocks him down. I thought it would be a rock situation. What the hell?
Kingsley, I thought the fight was over for a second. I thought it was a flash knockout. I thought it was donezo. But again, the Tyson Fury, like we've seen in his real life fights, he comes up like a zombie from The Walking Dead. And wow, that's a statement by Pablo early. I mean, that's going to throw a wrench in the game plan of the Toon Squad standout JMMA King.
This is officially a 10-8 round, and you never would have expected. God, I wish we had a replay of that, because it seems like JMMA tried to go for a straight. Muhammad Ali with his footwork, backstep, went with his own, and it was just a perfect timing with the stamina low, and he was actually knocked him down, where his mouth guard actually went onto the canvas. So a huge round from Pablo Grips, taking the round away from JMMA, and now JMMA has to use his mid-round break to come up with a different game plan.
Yeah, and that's why Pablo Grips is a dangerous player, because he is a guy that will take risks. He will throw punches wildly, and that was just a perfectly placed punch, and he is not afraid to throw those power punches. I wish we could see the replay. I mean, that was just a beautiful straight shot right down the pipe. Ooh, right off the bat, a little left hand right there by Pablo.
Yeah, and that has to be such a confident booster, knowing that you automatically took a 10-8 round going into the third round right here, and you still have plenty more play time to work with. So far, the counters are coming in from JMMA. You know he wants to come back with a nice rebound, but again, we see Muhammad Ali going into his back. You don't want to play around with Muhammad Ali. Pablo Grips knows what he's doing, apparently, but so far, finding this distant phone booth, not fully into it, but a little bit where the reach game is going to come into effect. But so far, it's very much even in this contest.
It is. JMMA is still, sticking with his strategy, backing up, using his footwork, popping that jab out there, playing off of it. But he's got to watch out now, because Pablo Grips is throwing that power straight with Muhammad Ali, and that thing is dangerous. Ooh, a couple big shots right there by JMMA. Oh, he's tagging him. He's tuning him up. Toon Squad.
In his bag, call him loony a little bit, trying to go crazy with his striking. But so far, Pablo Grips, even though he's getting hit with these shots, he's not fully taking the blocks. He's still trying to fight into the phone booth right there, but not really able to capitalize. But so far, taking the side steps from JMMA, trying to find his way back in, but takes a step back. knowing that he wants to be careful with his stamina. He doesn't want to get caught into the ropes. It gets hit with another flash knockout. But Muhammad Ali attacking the body. Pablo Grips trying to find his way back in. But combinations going to the dome, pushing the head back of Pablo Grips. JMMA is in his bag right now.
Yeah, JMMA is activated right now. You know, after that knockout or knockdown, he's like, okay, I'm gonna throw away that strategy of slow building, and this third round, I'm taking it. And he's making a statement here, and he's tagging him up with these beautiful combinations. My goodness.
Yeah, and that has to say something about the mental fortitude that you have to have in these type of fighting games, because you could be doing all the right things, but it takes one little mistake to change everything that you want to do. And you can see a nice flurry from JMMA change everything, and now JMMA is like, all right, you got that second round on me. Now I'm going to start turning it up, and you're going to have to fight at my tempo, like a little bit of whiplash.
Yeah, that's a great way to respond from JMMA, and that shows why he's such a good player. Because yeah, look at that 10-8 round number 2, round number 3 comes back, comes after him, and just, I mean, those combinations, the fluidity and the aggressiveness, that was nice right there from JMMA. Here we go, though, round number 4, Kingsley, and we're gonna see how Pablo Grips responds to this sort of pace.
Yeah, I mean, what we saw for the Coffee Box prediction is that Muhammad Ali, Pablo Grips, took the first round and got a 10-8 in that second round. So JMMA, even though he's defensively sound, he needs to make sure he does a little bit more, maybe a little bit more aggressive with his striking, as we saw in that last previous round. If he continues to do that, he's on the right path. But again, a nice jab to the face of Tyson Fury. That would change everything. And the combinations are coming in for Pablo Grips. It seems like he's now going more into a flow state, knowing what his opponent likes to do, excuse me. But the jabs, I feel like that might be a huge pressure point for JMMA right here, Rob.
No doubt, Pablo is obviously having a lot of trouble with those peppering jabs, and Jay just does so good at comboing. Look at that setup. He saw him coming in, power body straight from Jay. Jay is obviously the better boxer here, but Pablo is out here trying to brawl, and he has an opportunity. He's already landed one power punch. Can't land another one, King.
Yeah, this is what he needs to do. JMMA, he's using those jabs, and I love the jabs, but the judges don't really like the jabs as your main source of damage. So if you can just follow up with that jab and just land to the body or go for a hook with like a 1-1 and then 2-3, then like you're in business. But when we're getting closer and closer to the end of this fourth round, Pablo, it seems like he's working more with his hooks, working more with his jabs. So he's not only working with his jabs, he's using the strikes a little bit more as his first initial action in this contest.
Yeah, he is. And the movement, you're seeing JMMA is very educated movement with his footwork, and now he's staying his ground. That's where he needs to be careful against Ali. Left hook lands, though. Exchanges on the inside, and that's where I think he needs to be careful, is in those exchanges. But Jay, you know, he's just kind of floating around. He's fighting like Muhammad Ali almost, you know, floating around, stinging. He's just doing really good. He's very impressive in his performance, King. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm surprised we're not seeing like the taunting or the pelvic thrust that we saw from EyeGameYouWatch with the Muhammad Ali, because we know Muhammad Ali is a world-class trash talker. But with Tyson Fury, we saw on JMMA in the mid-break, we saw that the left cut was on the one bar. So a little bit of cut right there. He needs to be careful that he's not getting hit as much. But again, easier said than done. He needs to make sure he protects that left side so he doesn't get opened up as much before. But again, combinations, the 1-2 from JMMA, knowing that he needs to put pedal and metal, trying to work the body a little bit. But Pablo Grips entering the bell again, going closer to the body.
Getting a little closer. But man, look at those. Oh man, beautiful shots there. JMMA kind of flowing and glowing out there, because he is just kind of exposing the defense here on Pablo Grip. I mean, the length, the distance, I'm very impressed with his ability to kind of keep that Tyson Fury like distance, the step backs, the retreats. I mean, just everything is going in the favor of JMMA here in round number 5.
Yeah, you can see he's pushing them towards the ropes where he's going to have an opening. As you saw, a nice 3-piece combo straight to the face. Oh, right hook landing on the, oh my God. Every time he enters in, you can just see the face just constantly moving back because the power of the punches are so heavy. But that's the main thing that I love JMMA's game plan in this round right here. Even though he's moving forward, he's pushing his opponent back where he's pushing him towards the ropes, and he's able to open up his opponent where you can only sidestep. You can't fully move back. But Pablo Grips, he's no slouch. He wants to answer back, but he needs to avoid the counters in these last couple of seconds of the round.
And it's like 10 of Pablo Grips. His homie just walked into the room, and he's like nodding what's up to all of them with these jabs of Tyson Fury. And it's like Pablo's block is not always up when he's in range. You know, sometimes he keeps his hands kind of low, maybe to throw a little bit faster, and he's eating a lot of shots because of it.
Yeah, and I wonder, oh, vicious counter. Oh, a counter back. Both of these guys going for the woodwork right there. And
whoa,
what Pablo, oh, I thought his controller was a little bit broken right there, but I guess he knew it was like the later part of rounds, and he was like, you can just hit me all you want. It's not going to do any difference, but interesting to see what JMA was thinking of doing. I feel like he's losing his huge burst in the last couple of seconds because he knows he wants to put a stamp on the round. But look at the left cut of Tyson Fury. He needs to be very careful of those power punches with the hooks because he doesn't want to get that open up.
No, definitely not. He's got to be careful with that, but he did get it, you know, looked at. He got it worked on a little bit in between rounds, so maybe they got to close a bit. Oh, my goodness!
Oh.
He just put your guard up, man. He just ate like 3 in the face for no reason. Pablo Grips. Get the grip on the controller, baby. Come on.
Hey, sometimes you need to use the sticky like the NFL and just like hold on to that controller for dear life and make sure your movements are key. But one of the things that you saw a power shot. That's the thing I was going to talk about. With JMA, if he sees that opponent bring his gloves down, would your initial first punch be a power punch to make sure you get that initial first strike? Because it seems like he's letting that open every single time they're wrong.
Yeah, he is, and he's paying for it. And you're obviously seeing Pablo Grips a little bit thrown off, and JMMA just, oh man, the footwork is so smooth. He's making his opponent, you know, whiff these shots. The stamina, you miss shots is a bigger deficit. And wow, Jay looking really good here, man. Really good and technical. Look at that uppercut from distance. That's nasty.
Yeah, his second uppercut in a short amount of seconds right there, working really well for JMMA. But so far, JMMA taking his time, trying to get the distance right there, shaking the camera a little bit. But Pablo Grips, he's still in it. Oh, a vicious straight coming to the face of JMMA. But JMMA keeping his distance, trying to work the jab a little bit, trying to wait for his right opening to implement more of a combination. But again, the reach, you see that jab, both guys trying to go for a straight right there. And Tyson Fury is always going to have that reach advantage going against Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, he is. And you're seeing Pablo kind of staying at an even greater distance now, staying out of the range of Tyson, kind of jumping in, leapfrogging in to get some offense, and then getting out of there to defend himself, which you want to see. But it's kind of hard for him to get in on the defense, right? He's like, I'm out of range. You can't hit me, but I can't hit you either. So it's kind of a tough situation here for Pablo Grips.
Yeah, and Pablo Grips, you can see when he goes for those combinations, he's not in right. Oh my goodness! Oh, vicious combinations, uses all the stamina, and that's the thing you need to pinpoint. Every 10 seconds, JMMA is like, okay, I have nothing to lose. You can't really respond. I want to put everything of my stamina into my striking to get the pinpoint. But so far, from Pablo Grips' side, every time he's waiting for his opponent to come in, he's already preemptively going for the straight hook, trying to get his opponent caught and going forward. If he just stays or just like waits a bit, I feel like he really is able to answer with his striking. But right now we see Pablo Grips still up in the CompuBox prediction scores, 57-56. It's a very close fight here, Rob.
It is really close. That knockdown early scored him big, and he's stealing rounds in yeah, and Jay's doing so well, but it's just the guts and just the willingness to throw these combos in on the inside. And Muhammad Ali, oh my goodness, though, look at these trades. Bang, there's the connection from JMMA, tags him, and now he's on the pursuit for the knockdown. Big right hands, but no, the defense of Pablo Grips stands strong.
The footwork, the chase down wasn't up to snuff for JMMA, but that's a good benefit because these hooks are landing very big, but he's using a lot of stamina. If Pablo Grips finds an opportunity to make this guy whiff, he might have a chance. Oh, but a vicious left hook right there landing for JMMA, but JMMA, he's feeling it. Close side, but he's getting hit with too many punches right there. It's a little bit of a boxing and right side, the right hook landing. Both guys are going for the gusto right here, Rob.
Yeah, they are a little bit less technical prowess here, but JMMA is obviously putting his pedal, down, and he's unloading a lot of his gas tank to do some damage. He saw the judges' scorecards and knows he kind of needs to, maybe just put on the pressure. Even though he looks so elegant out there, he is definitely pursuing some damage in this round, and he's eating a little bit because of it. Do you think this is going to mess up his rounds 8, 9, and 10 because of his output here, Kingsley?
I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to see because we're getting to the 30-second mark. If it goes to the second mark, will Pablo realize that JMMA is going to go on a full-on blitzkrieg and go with his striking? If he's able to counter, that might be a flash KO. There it is right there. The flurry is right there. He's going to go for it again. 10 seconds left. Here we go. JMMA. He's going to go crazy and not fully get it. Pablo Grips not able to take advantage, not able to get a counter. He's going to move back, and that is the end of the round.
Oh.
But so far, Pablo, he has his health down to 40. Tyson Fury, but it's going to be very close here, Rob.
It's very close. You're seeing so many good, beautiful combinations from JMMA, but that pick, Muhammad Ali, you're seeing Pablo kind of leaping in and throwing that power straight, like right down the pipe. He's landing these little shots in between these beautiful combinations of Jay, and again and again, it's so close right now. It could be tied, it could be up. Like, who knows who's winning? And we're in round number 8, and they're exchanging here, and JMMA kind of running out of gas.
Yeah, I want to see Pablo Grips, like, if he's in those situations where they're super close up, I just want him to, like, land an uppercut. I feel like the uppercut is there for him to land if he sees, like, these crazy trades. Because every time, nice 1-2, straight into the face. Down bar! Pablo Grips down.
He had him trapped. That 1-2 was beautiful, landed execution style, and then he was trapped against in the corner of the ring, and then he swarmed him, and that's what you needed if you are a JMMA fan. A big moment in round number 8, and now he's in control, and now he can go back to his original strategy, Kingsley. He can kind of float around and be a little bit more technical.
Yeah, that's the knockdown he wanted after getting hit with that in the second round. Now we're both tied up in that situation, but that could be a 10-8 run for JMMA, so he might be up in the scorecards in the CopyBox predictions. We'll have to find out. We're still in the 8th round, so we still have 2 more rounds to go. So with all that stamina usage from JMMA, he needs to be very careful that he doesn't get caught, because Muhammad Ali, even though he has some footwork, he still has a lot of stamina in the tank. But right now, in this situation, go for an uppercut. The uppercut is right there for Pablo Grips, but he keeps on going for these straight punches or these hooks, and it's taking a lot more time than what he would if he goes for an uppercut.
And JMMA, even with this little amount of stamina, we can't see what Pablo's stamina is, but we see Jay's, and it's very low, and he's being very strategic and economic. Oh, there's a good jab by Pablo, but yeah, he's being really smart with it. You know, he has a little stamina. Boom, boom, just does a couple of punches, a nice left hook, and he's just landing so precise. JMMA, and with the damage already done, Kingsley, these little punches are going to be very strong here in round number 9 and 10 for Jay.
Yeah, and you saw in the end of that round, you saw Pablo Grips. Muhammad Ali had to jab straight up in the air like he was fist bumping like he's on Jersey Shore. But with the attribute of JMMA, his stamina's low, but this is where you need to be a full-on boxer. You need to make sure you don't get countered like that, because Muhammad Ali, if it's anything to Pablo Grips' effort, he might be down the card, so he might go for the kitchen sink. He might be able to go forward these trades. But with JMMA, now he needs to be a full boxer. He needs to make sure his combinations are clean, his hooks are precise, and his power is on point. With a little bit of 150 left in this round, you only have a round and a half to make some damage happen. We'll have to see and find out here, Rob.
Yeah, bro, I'm excited to see what's about to play out in round number 9, and especially round number 10 if it gets there. And again, you're just seeing Jay kind of throw out those long, straight punches, pop that jab out again and again, snap back the head of Pablo Grips. And depending on Pablo's energy level here, he's going to have to find some way to get a flurry or do some damage, because Jay is low on stamina. He's not blowing out, you know, his gas tank, so he's not too susceptible to vulnerability. But man, this is a tough one. This is close.
Yeah, and mind you, again, Tyson Fury still has a left cut and it has 1 bar. So if he's able to open that up, that leads like an avenue to get a knockdown, because that stamina is low. If he goes for crazy blitz like that and doesn't land, he still has an opportunity. But JMMA doing so well in this round with the amount of stamina that he has. With 15 seconds left, will he go on for the barrage that he's been doing before in previous rounds? Oh, vicious straight into a combination. And the answer was 1,000% yes. He will keep going for it, and he will connect as we go into the 10th and final round. He has more health than he has stamina. This is big for JMMA.
And JMMA is fighting phenomenally, getting better as the fight goes on. Started strong, a little hiccup early, but now it's the task is on Pablo Grips. He's got to come and find a way to break the shell, the carapace of Jay's defense. And Jay's looking good out there. You know, he's throwing these beautiful like 1-punch, 2-punch combos accurately and devastatingly, Kingsley.
Yeah, Rob, in the first minute, do you just have to go? Because you have 3 minutes. Oh, it's 10-10? What? How, sir? Okay, so it's 10-10, 85 all. This is the round. You have to make sure you leave no doubt. Pablo needs to go for it. JMMA has to go for it with the limited amount of stamina he has and the health. This is all on the cards right here, Rob.
This is so interesting. Why does it say? Okay, I got confused. Okay, yeah, round 10 and
10 round.
Yeah, I thought I said 13 for a second. Yeah, round 10 and 10, and Jay is so tired at this point. He kind of had a little bit more output, in my opinion, on Pablo. I don't think he has enough in the bank to really do anything in this 10th round. But if he does, that's gonna be impressive. So Pablo Grips, let's see what he does with this advantage.
You just gotta take the shots. If I'm Pablo Grips, you just gotta take the shots and just go in. You're already at the 130 mark. You're halfway through the round. There's no time to wait. This is your regular season win on the line. 2 points are on the line here, but JMMA doing such a nice job, still fighting, but look at that, every single punch, even a jab depletes all of his stamina. We're getting closer and closer. I think one uppercut, one hook, one counter, that might be it. We might see another flash right here in under 1 minute here, Rob.
Yeah, whatever Pablo's been doing throughout the fight, he's gotten to this point, 85-85, and it seems like watching the eye test, Jay is winning, but there's a big body shot, and that one hurt Jay. That kind of buckled him. You saw the stamina flashing, and that was a vicious body shot by Pablo. So Pablo, he knows it's tied, Kingsley, and he's going to try to get to the finish line here.
So I wonder for the people in the back, what if it happens if it's a draw? Do they both get 1 point? Like, I don't know if we have like a tie situation, but hopefully we'll find out. But with under 10 seconds, here we go. Everything on the line. Who is going to take the 10th round and take the victory? The judges will determine who wins. And JMMA is Tyson Fury. Pablo's, it's JMMA takes the victory with the knockdown late in the later rounds. Soundly defensively takes the victory with his combinations and able to get 2 points in the contest.
Yeah, I think that was the right decision. JMMA just looked really good from the opening bell. You saw earlier, you know, the original knockdown by Pablo. You kind of threw a wrench, and these two, I mean, this could be fight of the night too. It's kind of hard now. This fight is tied with BoneDoinWork and Wordlife, so we're gonna have to do some you know, talking and sorting through, because I don't know. What do you think, Kingsley? That was a beautiful fight.
Yeah, and look at JMMA's percentage. 53% of his strikes landed on Pablo Grips. And you saw the health and the stamina was fairly even, so you couldn't really do much in that situation, but it was so good to see that. That was such a probably our closest fight that we've seen in this whole card. I know our second fight, Wordlife and BoneDoinWork, that was a crazy comeback, but I never seen something go down to the final round where you need to put everything on the line with JMMA with limited amount of stamina, limited amount of health, and still able to box his fight and take the victory. So kudos to them. And we only have one person who has hit the 3-point mark in this whole card right here, Rob.
And that person is?
That person is EyeGameYouWatch, the taunting savant, who does the 3 pumps in a nightclub and gets a dominant victory over his contestant. But so far, been a good night of fights. I hope you guys are enjoying it live here on Twitch and on YouTube. Again, I'm your host and commentator, Kingsley. Alongside me is Rob. We have 2 more fights to go. Make sure you get your predictions. Make sure you sign up for the Discord, because these fights are nothing but bangers. As we go into our co-main event of the evening, it's FightNightsFinest versus Joooobe.
Let's go. Joooobe it is. And here we go. Yeah, so JMMA, he set the tone for Toon Squad, 1-0. Now it's up to FightNightsFinest. Get 2-0 to set up Pryoxis for the most pressure, 3-0. But Joooobe has other plans. Do you know anything about this competitor, Joooobe or Kingsley? I know you interviewed the fighters.
Yeah,
You did your due
absolutely.
diligence.
Yeah, we tried to. Only the best for the ESFL. So when I talked to Joooobe or asked him some questions, he was extremely excited to get the season going. It was an honor to be chosen and be a part of this cards and being a part of the first few exhibition cards as well. He wants to find his way back into the league and run that back and be one of the top fighters in that situation. With his pretty dominant fights, what he saw from FightNightsFinest in any comments, he said FightNightsFinest is a hell of a competitor. He always brings a fight in there. And one thing I picked up on he tries to force his opponent to fight his brand of boxing. He will be prevented from doing that with himself. So going for the forced fight, he wants to make sure that he goes through his cadence and tempo. So Joooobe is looking to dictate the fight, whether it be reactionary into his whole contest. So a lot of things happening for Joooobe. But anything that we have for FightNightsFinest, I know you commentated some of his fights before in previous ESFL events.
Yes. What was his name back in the day? Was it always Fight Nights Finest?
I think it was FightNightsFinest. Yeah, I think he did like some affiliate leagues and some like UFC type of stuff. But I also asked him some questions as well. So going with Joooobe, he's excited to be in this card. He also FightNightsFinest. He's also excited to be in this card. I mean, his main name is FightNightsFinest. So this guy is all about the Knockout Kings, the Fight Night games, but now going to Undisputed. When I talked to him about his style, he was morely about enjoying being a boxer puncher. However, over through the years, he learned to play a multitude of various styles. So being an aggressive knockout artist or being more of the turtle shell, try to be a counter puncher in that situation. He usually loves to embrace the fundamentals and the basics of the game. So he wants to be very technical with his strikings. So when he looks at his other opponents, when they say, oh, he's easy to beat because he just only focuses on his striking like we saw in UFC, he says, no, I have many other things that I could possibly do. I could be a boxer puncher. I could be aggressive. I could use an emphasis of being a turtle shell. So he has a diverse play style when it comes to Undisputed. So going to the welterweight division, a Sugar Ray Leonard versus a Sugar Ray Robinson, he's able to use anything he possibly wants going into this contest. So for Joooobe, for FightNightsFinest, anything is possible going into this co-main event.
He's 67-5. This guy does not lose. Both guys have really good records. FightNightsFinest, I believe.
Oh my God. What? 5 fights he lost? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't think this guy is used to losing, and that's what you want to see.
Jeez.
Craziness here. And Sugar Ray Robinson is such a dominant pick. I really like him. He's right there. Look, 67-7 for Finest. And then Joooobe, pretty boy, 203 wins and 39 losses. I'm not sure how these records work. They were a little wonky at the beginning, but man, these are two killers being put against each other. Now we know why it's the co-main event.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing from FightNightsFinest, he remembers Joooobe playing as a guy who was spamming his ass up in the first official Undisputed card. So already he thought Joooobe had like a little bit of a spamming card on himself. So he's trying to make sure that he doesn't apply Jooooobe's style to his thing. So we'll have to see. Again, Sugar Ray Robinson is FightNightsFinest in the red corner, while Joooobe is the blue corner using Sugar Ray Leonard. The only guarantee that we have is that Sugar Ray will win this contest. So we'll have to see how this whole thing goes. But we're going to see a little bit of a different tempo, a little bit of a different cadence into the striking. We're going to see a little bit of technicality going in this fight right here, Rob.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will too. Ooh, vicious body shots being on display early. Ooh, both guys tagging each other. Big shots. I like the sound of this fight. I'm getting immersed here, baby.
Yeah, the crowd is alive. The chat is alive. The punches are swinging and banging. We'll have to see how this whole thing plays out. Can it be consistent for a whole 10 rounds? Or will we see an easy knockout? Maybe a 10-round embarrassment, as FightNightsFinest said about this contest. We'll have to see how it plays out. But so far, both guys using the range perfectly. A nice left hook coming out of the way from FightNightsFinest as he's perfectly using this range right here. Even though he's getting hit to the body, he needs to be careful of that, but able to enter belts. So far, FightNightsFinest fighting his own distinct way to fighting.
Both guys landing flawlessly on the body, jabbing to the body, jabbing to the head, trading back and forth, trying to find the rhythm, defending themselves nicely as well, but I can't really tell who's winning this fight. It seems like maybe Joooobe is getting the better of Finest, but could be wrong.
Yeah, he had a very nice combination. He landed with a jab into a hook to his opponent. Every time he sees his opponent gloves out, he's able to capitalize. But right now, it's all about who can do the right side steps, who can attack the body, because we saw the changing of the levels a little bit, and the uppercuts being landed. And a nice jab, look at that. That is pinpoint accuracy from Joooobe right there.
Oh yeah, a little pull back body shot. A lot of body shots here, and ooh, at the end of the round, a power jab landing for Joooobe, and Joooobe on fire at the end of this round, stealing it definitely. Finest not really he's not letting it fly at the end there.
Maybe that's the strategy. You know, you have 10 seconds left. Maybe your opponent is trying to think of the second round going away, where you don't have to really focus about it. But Joooobe taking advantage, doing the same thing that JMMA did, and just keep on fighting till the bell is sound. Maybe get a little bit punches after the bell. But so far, counters, body shots working so well for Joooobe. It's up to FightNightsFinest. What can you do? How can he recalibrate and adapt his strategy going against Joooobe right here?
Man, it's a closely matched contest here. Both guys kind of fighting close range. You're seeing Joooobe attacking that body. You're seeing Finest kind of trying to block counter a lot, and both guys just high level here. This is very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, this is something similar that you would see in an FGC, whether it's like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. You love to see like a footsie kind of game where you're trying to reach out to your opponent to the furthest extent and actually get the hitbox onto your opponent. So it seems like both guys are not trying to fully find a move, but find that perfect amount of distance, perfect amount of footsies to get their strikes ready to go. So far, counters are coming in, hooks are coming in, and it could be very even. This might be the closest fight that we had so far in this card.
Yeah, great points, Kingsley. Definitely a footy battle, and that's what makes these guys so good, is their distance, their timing, their awareness, and the body is just being attacked here by Joooobe with that jab. And look, he's kind of floating around there, and the block being displayed heavily by Finest.
Yeah, and I love the, oh god, you see what Joooobe is doing with his body shots. He's able to land like a straight, and then he leads back, and that's like a pull body uppercut to the body to able to get that counter. So far, I like what Joooobe is doing. Everything has a distinct purpose with his shots. Meanwhile, FightNightsFinest, he's doing his best to fight inside the phone, but trying to, like, not trying to copy, but trying to repeat what his opponent's trying to do, trying to give him some back of his own medicine. So far, with under 7 seconds left in the second round, the CopyBox predictions might have his hands full going to these next couple of rounds right here, Rob.
Yeah, I need the CopyBox to tell me who's winning this fight so I can sound smart, because I have no idea. It's so evenly matched. And the only thing I can take away from this is you're seeing Finest really using his block up and down, kind of being a little bit more stationary. And it seems like Joooobe is kind of relying more on his footwork and his back steps to get out of the way, and just kind of using that jab to pepper him.
Yeah, and we're going a little bit of back and forth with a little bit of a chess match. And as you saw in the mid-inning break, we saw that Joooobe has a left cut, just only one bar on his left side. So he needs to be very careful about it. We saw Tyson Fury able to win the fight with that left cut, but if FightNightsFinest is able to pick that out, he might have an opportunity to fight against his opponent. But again, counters happening so much in this contest, it's hard to pick up with the action.
A fantastic fight. These guys are throwing amazingly at each other. Both guys landing strong to the face. You're seeing both guys trading damage well. Both guys being tested. I mean, just so close, right in the center of the ring too. I mean, these guys are just phenomenal. This is great.
Yeah, the movement, the precision, the ability to lean back but actually follow up with a strike, like right there, a nice side into a left hook right there. That's what you want to see from FightNightsFinest. He's able to dictate, and lands it again. That's been his move. I want to see if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Try to go for the side step to the left and land that hook. It's been working so far for him, Rob.
Yeah, that left hook is definitely starting to land for Finest, and he's even kind of throwing the straight, digging to the body. Very confident with his stationary striking on Kingsley. He doesn't really move too far back, just enough to get out of the rhythm. But man, Joooobe is just throwing and firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, he is firing on all cylinders, but he needs to be very careful about going for the body uppercut so many times, because we do have a limit on that in the ESFL. The back step straights and the body uppercut, you can't do that as much as you can, so you need to implement your strategy very precise. But so far, we're seeing the very good hooks coming out from Joooobe, but it's going back and forth. And now with 10 seconds, who is going to make the right kind of strategy to end this round with a pinpoint? And it seems like we are going to the fourth round with a blaze of punches coming in. Again, do you want to make your predictions now, or you want to wait a little bit? Because I know the CopyBox is coming.
Yeah, let me just wait. Oh, yeah, my predictions, down here you see 29-28 for Joooobe. Starting out strong was Finest, but Joooobe taking those last 2 rounds. And yeah, you know, Joooobe is peppering. You think he's using the body uppercut a little too much, Kingsley? Or I've seen doing the body jab a lot. Definitely jab heavy though.
Yeah, definitely jab heavy, but that's something that FightNightsFinest needs to do differently. He has the jab, he has his body shots, but what can you do with the hooks? What can you do with the uppercuts? Can you go in the phone book, like right there, nice hook to the left side, able to get the counter, but can you go in and maybe change it up? Not always go for a hook, maybe go for an uppercut to change everything up. But right now, Joooobe, he's just coming in. He always wants to attack the body first, then go straight up to the head, because he knows that once he attacks the body, that leaves the head so far open, and he's able to land counters like that, Rob.
Yeah, Joooobe sneaking that right hand down the middle, and Joooobe just kind of popping him here in this round. I think he's taking the lead and starting to take this fight into his momentum. And it seems like Finest having just a tiny bit of trouble with this style.
Yeah, again, the reach game, the distance game, who's going to take advantage of it? And it seems like Joooobe is doing a very good way of getting his hooks in, making sure he's not into the range of the jabs or to the straights where he can come back and unleash that hooks, because so far he's getting the counters. I feel like he has more counters than FightNightsFinest in this whole contest, but so far with going to the 5th round, an answer back from FightNightsFinest, he needs to find a way back in, but the body shots landing every single time for Joooobe.
Oh, yeah, those power body jabs are hurting Finest, kind of buckling him a little bit, and that's got to deplete the stamina as well. And you're seeing Finest kind of holding the block up, Kingsley. Nice job there. Oh, good counter though, Finest.
Take a double take with the 2 counters right there as we're going towards the end of the 4th round, excuse me, and we're just going to blaze of glory. Boom, guys, after the bell, break these 2 all away. They have another round to fight, but so far, this is how much it means to them, Rob. They have to fight till the bell, maybe after the bell, to get the victory, to make their point known that there's not going to be any slouches. They are not going to they're not going to be on the back foot. They're going to go forward and fight to their heart's content.
Damn right, and they're putting on a performance here for everybody in the Esports Fight League on the undisputed debut of the season. And these 2 are bringing the heat. Both guys just testing each other. Both guys trying to make adjustments and landing very valiantly on each other, and keeping the fight on the center, just banging each other's bodies. I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, not much of the distance game, more of the phone booth fighting that we've seen previously before. But right now, you see Joooobe, after he sees something that he likes, he goes back, tries to find his way back in, but hopefully we'll see more of what Joooobe can possibly do. But right now, FightNightsFinest, trying to find the distance a little bit, bring his block up a little bit, trying to get into the phone booth, but it's hard to go in with Joooobe is answering back so many times, especially with those counters.
Oh, the power body jab is nasty. Oh man, he's all over the body right now, and Finest just really just destroying it. And again and again, you're hearing those big blows from Joooobe, just taking over round number 5.
Yeah, he's taking over, and with 1 minute to go, you have to think, FightNightsFinest, does he have to consider blocking the body a little bit more and just risk his head getting hit? Because the flash KO is still it's still up for discussion whether he gets hit a bunch, but he's taking a lot of shots to the body, and Joooobe is just working his way throughout easily with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, he does. He definitely has to protect his body. He's got to find a way to get out of the way of that jab, power jab to the body, and right now he's just content holding that block up and finding the counter. But a big right hand lands clean for Joooobe.
You can see the beads of sweat just dropping everywhere. Oh my God, a cleanse from Joooobe. Get his combinations flush, and that will end the 5th round. And so far, so good for Joooobe. I feel like he has had at least 2 rounds ahead in this contest, but it's up to FightNightsFinest. What can he do? It already gets hit with a counter in the first couple of seconds here, Rob.
Yeah, here he comes. Here comes the train. That is Joooobe. I mean, just all over him, not really giving checka choo. He's not really giving Finest enough time to really react here. He just kind of has him on the, like you said, he is turtling right now, and he needs to find a way to block that body and just find some detonations on his opponent. But right now, it's just a back and forth fight. But here comes Finest, Kingsley.
Finest is finding his way back, but again, every time he gets close, he knows he has to protect the body, and he's doing it. He's actually blocking the body, but every time he goes in, counters to the head. going like it's never one stagnant shot. It's always like you're gonna start to the body, but I'm gonna hit the head. But if you try to block the head and not go for the counter, he only has like a different kind of situation. He's been so proactive with his striking that FightNightsFinest, it seems like throughout these rounds, has been reacting every single time.
Yeah, I would agree. That's a good point. He's definitely on the back foot. Even though he's in the center, he's throwing these punches at Joooobe when he's standing still. But it's Joooobe kind of dictating the pace of this fight, definitely.
Yeah, and the jab is working so well to the body. And it going for the straight. It's just the distance play of Joooobe, even though he's using a lot of stamina there, is working so well. And that was score points because counters under the 1 minute into the 5th round. It's just insane. Excuse me, 6th round. Sorry.
The body digging is nasty right now from Joooobe. Look at that again and again. I wonder what the body health is at this point. So early in the fight, it seems like he's eating so many right hand lands as well. He's going upstairs, he's mixing, he's matching. Joooobe on the fly.
Yeah, but you saw FightNightsFinest able to enter back, get in the combinations. Maybe this is his opportunity to get some momentum, get into a flow state, try to land with a right hook. I don't think it landed flush, but so far, we're seeing FightNightsFinest. Say what you will about Joooobe in the beginning parts of this round. We saw FightNightsFinest have a little bit of life in those little couple of seconds going to the end of this round.
We did, and it's not like Finest is even that far behind Joooobe. Maybe some people have him winning. I don't know. It just seems like he hasn't found that spark to get him over Joooobe. Joooobe just seems to be in control these last couple of rounds, and this fight is now in round number 7. So let's see what Finest does here.
Yeah, and the copy box agreed with you, 58-56 in favor of Joooobe on the blue side, uses Sugar Ray Leonard. And so far, counters working so well for Joooobe. Joooobe able to play his stances in this situation. Look at that, the back lunge into the perfect distance, able to enter back with a strike of his own. While FightNightsFinest, he's trying to fight in the phone booth. He's trying to get to his opponent. He's able to land some 1-2 into the head hunting. But how many shots to the body will dissuade him from going for head hunting?
Yeah, I'm not sure, and I'm just noticing that the peppering, the pressure, the amount of blows being sent the way of Finest is a lot more than Finest is returning, and I think he's thinking a little too much in there.
Yeah, while he's thinking a bunch, he's getting hit in the face every single time, but he's able to land a nice counter. But the block gauge, even though he hit a nice 1-2, not really doing much to affect Joooobe. But Joooobe finding his distance, finding his reach, able to get the counter, gets a nice jab to the body, gets a nice body uppercut again and again every single time the FightNightsFinest, and it has to go to where FightNightsFinest, even though he's landed
FightNightsFinest!
FightNightsFinest brings the knockdown, changes the game, and that will be a 10-8 round into the face of my God, of Joooobe, my God.
Yeah, and you saw right there, he decided, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna stand my ground. He started letting those hooks just fly right into the face of Joooobe, caught him, and now Joooobe is in trouble in round 7, and that's a good round steal from Finest, and that's what you needed. That's what they needed. That's what the Toon Squad needed right there. Big round for Undisputed Finest.
And you can feel the momentum rising. The rejuvenation of FightNightsFinest coming back. That's a true boxer right there. Even though he's getting hit all the time in the early couple of rounds, able to find his way back to have his finest knockdown. Now, can he do it? He's in the 8th round. Can he find his way back in to get a second one? While Joooobe, even though he got knocked down, trying to disrupt his momentum, can he find his way back to bring his distance game back in? But a body shot like that will land so flush against Joooobe. Rob, this is FightNightsFinest round, and hopefully we can see more. He's bringing it 1 to his opponent.
We're starting to see the momentum shift in the corner of Finest now. Joooobe a little bit, slowed down, a little bit less confident to throw those bombs after getting sat down on the canvas. And now Finest is starting to pick his shots, and he's throwing some power here in round number 8.
Now, you have to think, if you're Joooobe, you use so much of your rounds attacking the body, and sure, it's been doing a lot of work, but you got headhunted and you got knocked down. Do you try to change up your strategy? And it seems like he won't. He's still attacking the body. He still feels confident about his strategy, but now he needs to be careful of his head health.
After you get knocked down like that, it's, oh my goodness, big shots again from Finest, landing big hooks, beautiful stuff. And yeah, Joooobe is a little hesitant, and that's not going in his favor right now. And Finest is starting to take over the latter part of this fight, Kingsley.
We'll have to see. 1 minute remaining in the 8th round. FightNightsFinest got a knockdown in the last round. Joooobe is trying to answer back. We'll have to see a vicious straight with a counter from FightNightsFinest. It seems like he's being more of the counter puncher. We saw that he could be a boxer puncher, but now he's countering his opponent every single time, not really getting Jooobe's distance. And oh, another one straight to the dome, to the temple of Joooobe, answering back. Nice little back straight. Going to his head, going back and forth. 10 seconds left in the 8th round. It's back and forth. It's body shots. It's striking. It's undisputed on the. We're going into the 9th round.
We're going into the 9th round, and you saw Finest on the entry from Joooobe. He was firing that straight right down the pipe and comboing off of it and catching him again and again. Finest had a great round, but Joooobe kind of came in at the end. In this round number 9, you want to see Joooobe get back to that activity, get back to the volume that he was displaying earlier, because with this slow down pace, it seems like Finest is starting to get comfortable.
Yeah, he is starting to get into his back. Look at that, just backing away, hit him with a straight. It worked so well for him. While Joooobe trying to pressure in, trying to go in, trying to attack the body a little bit more, trying to find his avenue to bring his opponent down, because he doesn't want another 10-8. Oh, but whipping back and forth, trying to attack the body, trying to go for the straights. FightNightsFinest is fighting back, finding the first reactions. Instead of him reacting, now he's being a proactive fighter with 2 minutes left with a right hook. He is answering back, and he's answering the bell here, Rob.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of composure right now from Finest. You're seeing a little bit of questions in the mind of Joooobe. Can he get through this fight? And you're seeing him trying to go to that body, trying to throw that body lead uppercut a lot here to try to make up, because that shot is so good in this game. But it's just, dude, look at these shots, Kingsley. Finest is finding his mark brilliantly here. Oh!
This is working so well, and Joooobe is using a lot of stamina here, trying to work the body. So many times he has worked the body, but no pay and dividends. He's able to get the counter. He's able to work the head a little bit, but into this phone book, FightNightsFinest just needs one crazy combo, one crazy strike, one power hook, and he's back in this fight. Oh, but a nice counter, left hook, landing again. Oh, back and forth we go. Joooobe trying to answer the bell with the body uppercuts. Now taking a little bit of a break. But Rob, this could be anybody's fight right here.
This could be Joooobe having a surgence here in the later part of round number 9. The body uppercuts are landing heavily, but also these hooks and that power straight again to the body, again to the body. Joooobe all over Finest right now, throwing big shots here at the end of the round, Kingsley.
FightNightsFinest doesn't care. You can attack my body all you want. I'm still going to attack you to the head and knock you down. But with 5 seconds, we are going to final round, and we're going in with a blaze of glory. 10th and final round here, Rob.
Let's go, baby. That's what you want to see in the Esports Fight League. And here we go. It could be 86 to Finest to 85. He could have had the lead right here. How is Joooobe going to react?
They said 10-10 in round 9. We're back in the same situation. 1 round to sell it all. FightNightsFinest has came back from the early rounds. Joooobe got hit with a knockdown, but he's still attacking the body. Will he continue on?
Oh!
Sits right hook into the face of FightNightsFinest. Joooobe trying to find his way back in, knowing that he needs to it again. Can he do it for a 3rd time? He is slaying. He is banging. FightNightsFinest trying to find his way back in. We're in the 2-minute mark. And FightNightsFinest, could he attack the body? Can he go for a strike? Hooks have been the favorite move of his. I don't know how you could go with it, Rob.
Man, this is crazy. Joooobe has kind of abandoned the body shots, and he's throwing that power right hook again and again, crashing right into the left temple. Big shots. Joooobe all over Finest right now. Finest needs to settle in because the power shots of Joooobe are landing again and again. It's a war zone out there, baby.
Buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. You're in for a remarkable showcase of fireworks and destruction as FightNightsFinest trying to go to the phone booth, trying to go with his combinations, not really fully landing. Joooobe entering back. 1 minute left, able to land with a body counter. Counter, please, counter after counter. Again from Joooobe, taking it around. Oh! Rock, a rock landed. Joooobe filling it.
Oh!
Bar! Down again. Joooobe has knocked down FightNightsFinest. Can FightNightsFinest find his way back in the 7th? He will come back. Only 10 seconds left. Or will that be the round? We'll have to see.
My goodness, complete pandemonium here with 6 seconds left. He's got to come in and knock him down. Can he do it? FightNightsFinest. The fight is stolen right before our eyes, and Joooobe somehow, some way connects with the right hand and gets the nod. What a fight.
What a fight indeed. I told you I was gonna, when I know it's a great fight, I will lose my voice. And by God, they almost made me lose my voice as Joooobe in the final round getting the knockdown. And majority decision. The third round had it tied up. So that was huge. The second judge had it 95-93, and the first judge had it 95-94. So you could cut the tension, cut the lead to what, like a razor's edge. Huge. And only one judge, the first judge, gave the ninth round a 10-10. So one judge was like, I'm not satisfied enough. I need to go to a tie. But that's how close a victory and a defeat could be in the undisputed season.
Yeah, Finest wins that round. All he had to do was win the round, and he probably won the fight. But he went out there and stood his ground. You gotta, that's entertainment right there. You gotta respect that. And as well, you saw in that last round, dude, Joooobe was throwing that. I think it was the power hook, or maybe it was the hook. It looked like the power hook again and again, and he was landing it brilliantly. And that was actually the shot that put out the lights. Finest, and you could tell Finest was slick with it. He was good. His distance, his timing, his confidence, and that just makes the win that more sweet for the man Joooobe. What a co-main event, man! I was hyped. You were hyped. I know your voice is gone. My voice is gone. But Kingsley, we got one more, baby. We got Pryoxis, dog.
We're still in here. One other thing before we go into the main event, I just want to know, what was the body health of FightNightsFinest? Because I thought, like, the game plan going to the body, that would have been very bad for him going to the 10th round, but it paid dividends so he could go to the head. So it'll be interesting to see in the replay. But as you said, Rob, we had 7 amazing fights. We have lost our voice. I said Timber so many times, and these fights, we have a new contender for Fight of the Night. By God. But now, ladies and gentlemen, live on Twitch and on YouTube, Rob, to everyone in the ESFL staff and the ESFL community, it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. It is Pryoxis going against JxShepp in our last regular season week 1 matchup. Who will get 3 points? Who will get 2 points? We saw a lot of competitors very clutch to get the victory. Only one person has got the full 3 points. But now it's up to Pryoxis, it's up to JxShepp. Both guys, content creators, both very well-known names in the combat sports, esports scene, and the content area. This is going to be a big fight, and they're going to welterweight division here, Rob.
Yeah, and you asked the competitor JxShepp, you asked, what would it be like to fight against a competitor like Pryoxis? He says he's excited, and this is going to set the tone for the whole season. He'd rather fight the best and have the pressure on him up front than, you know, fight Pryoxis down the line. So he's willing, he's ready for the test now. But Pryoxis, a legend of the game, a legend of UFC 3, UFC 4, multiple-time competitor, multiple-time tournament winner and competitor. This guy has seen it all, done it all, and he's entertaining at the highest level. He's the triple threat. Pryoxis, let's go. Toon Squad representative, maybe the head chef. Who knows? I mean, this guy is the.
We'll have to see.
The creme de la creme.
Might be the creme de la creme, but along with Pryoxis, I asked him a couple of questions before this event, along with JxShepp. With Pryoxis, I asked him, like, he's been a legend in the ESFL. You know, he fought in UFC 3, UFC 4, been a part of so many seasons, went to Las Vegas. I asked him, does the amount of a new game and a new season, like, give you any nerves, or, like, do you have to train more, prepare more to get yourself ready for a contest like this? And he says, like, I'm not nervous, or never had that feeling since playing comp in UFC 3. It's never felt like really a business. He's just there having fun and trying to catch bodies, simple as that. And honestly, he feels like with the ESFL rule set, this game could change a lot, because a lot of people are expecting more patches for Undisputed, but he's excited and just there having fun. So no matter what he's done, former champ, consistent main eventer, he's about just having fun and putting on a show for everyone here in the ESFL. Meanwhile, in JxShepp, this is a big opportunity for him. he's excited to be in this situation and going against Pryoxis and to make sure that he doesn't have like any highs or lows. He's saying even kill going to this contest. So both guys have the right mentality to go in this main event and go for this contest. So I'm excited to see what both of these guys have in store for us in our last fight of the first week of the regular season here, Rob.
Yes, sir. Couldn't agree with you more. And make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you get your predictions. You can use your channel points to predict who you think will win. Is it gonna be Pryoxis? Is it gonna be JxShepp? Who knows? JxShepp. But here we go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to see this fight. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this main event. But we are still waiting on these boys to put on their gloves or whatever. So I guess we gotta do a little bit more filler.
No, that's totally fine because there's a lot of things to talk about here, Rob. Because again,
Let's go, baby.
this is our ESFL regular season, a new game. It's not UFC, it's Undisputed. We have an real title, like the one you saw in Las Vegas. That's a real title for the Undisputed. We have one. It's gonna be 7 weeks. The top 16 players are gonna be competing, and the top 8 are gonna go to the playoffs and go to a single fight elimination bracket, which is gonna be absolutely amazing to see. But again, our rule set is 1.5 stamina, 1.5 damage, and a long rule set, max 50 body uppercuts, max 50 backstep straights. So a lot of rules to make sure that the entertainment, the excitement is still in the ESFL. And with this main event that we're seeing as we're into the loading screen, we saw Canelo Alvarez. We saw Sugar Ray Leonard. This is sure to be one hell of a matchup here, Rob.
Yes, it will. And I'm looking at Canelo, and I'm wondering, you know, how much power he's going to be bringing into this with the modifiers. He's going to be very, very difficult to deal with on the inside. Pryoxis is going to have to. Pryoxis is Sugar Ray, yes?
I think so. Yes.
Yes. But Pryoxis is so good at avoiding damage, and so technical and so good at strategy. So I really want to see how he employs that strategy here tonight.
Yeah, and again, this is your main event at ESFL Undisputed, one of the regular season. I am your host and commentator, Kingsley. Alongside me is Rob. Pryoxis is in the red, uses Sugar Ray Leonard, and Canelo Alvarez is being used by Jshep in the blue. Now, one thing about Canelo Alvarez, because I love using him a lot in Undisputed, I know his body uppercuts, his body shots have like a perk on him, so he has more damage when he goes to the body shots. So it'll be really interesting what Jshep does, or when does he go into the body shots. But already he's feeling good of just leaning back and going for his jabs, trying to strike against Pryoxis right here.
He is doing well, and Pryoxis also doing well, moving, staying way on the outside, you know, trying to just find his rhythm with that jab. You know, he loves to be technical out there. He loves to move his feet, switch stances as he's doing right now, and both guys just finding their rhythm.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can already tell this is big stakes. Even though both guys are having fun, there's something on the line. You can't avoid having that little bit of like something at the back of your head, and you have to keep in mind what you're fighting for. But so far, it seems like we're in the filling out process. Usually we saw the filling out process and usually ramp it up within the round. It seems like they're going to take the ramping up process in a multitude of rounds, trying to see what works, what doesn't work. With a counter like that, it seems like we're not going to see as many crazy strikes that we've seen in previous contests.
Yeah, no one ever wants to lose. You know, no matter what the stakes are, nobody likes to lose. Everybody wants to win. And right now, you know, the season opener is on the line. You know, you want those points, you want the finish, you want to look good. And the pressure right now from Pryoxis, and he's staying out of that danger zone from Canelo, not brawling, not exchanging, not trading. He's just keeping his distance, and looks like Canelo's having a little trouble landing some shots.
Yeah, he's having a little trouble, but he was able to answer with some counter shots. It's all about what is Pryoxis going to do when he gets in the phone booth. We see both of these guys playing a lot of distance. Both guys really working the jab, trying to fully go into the box. So you can see a little bit of a symmetry of moves of trying to lean back and avoid the certain strikes they're getting. But right now, we see Pryoxis going to his back with a nice left hook landing onto Jshep.
Yeah, good job by Pryoxis. Ooh, a couple shots here, though, on the inside. Good movement. Overall, good defense. And you're seeing even Jshep with some good defense as well. Peppering out his own jab. Kind of stalking Pryoxis, getting close. Ooh, good body shots.
Yeah,
ooh.
This is something that you would see in Top Rank. Just like you see Canelo Alvarez, he's going to the phone booth, but then he just like a little like slide, little shift to the side, and then go for his strikes. I'm liking what we're seeing for Jshep, because you can see he's moving in, he's sliding a little bit, then goes for the strike, because he's trying to wait for Pryoxis to go for his initial shot. Then he's going to try to take advantage with a counter shot. Because you see, uppercut trying to land there. Not really getting the best. And Pryoxis doing such a well job able to counter back. And now combination is heavy for Pryoxis.
Pryoxis lighting him up there. Good movement, like you said. Getting out of the way, making a miss, plowing into the body. And Jshep also being very patient. Both guys being so patient, waiting for their opponent to miss and make them pay with a counter shot.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that Pryoxis is picking up on. He's attacking by wings. He's Canelo Alvarez trying to duck down and trying to lean into the phone booth. He's like, okay, if you're going to wait a little bit, I'm going to take advantage of trying to get as many shots as possible that I can on you. But hopefully we'll have it all figured out as we're back into the action. I don't know.
Oh, it's not just me this time.
If we're under 30 seconds.
Oh.
So we're good. But good, nice combinations landing for JxShepp.
Yep. Beautiful work right there. Yeah, big power punches from Jshep, landing well on Pryoxis. Pryoxis still moving, landing another strong straight right down the pipe, standing his ground, utilizing that head movement to stay out of danger.
Now, I love what I'm seeing from Jshep, where he's trying to use that uppercut a little bit more. I think a lot more people should use the uppercut when they're getting very close up. But one thing, he's trying to use it in range. If he gets a little bit closer in, I feel like that'll be a lot more useful for his striking. But Pryoxis, this is a range where he wants to be. Play a little bit of outside, try to advance your opponent, try to get a little bit back, but trying to play those counters a little bit. Trying to get into the back. Oh, put a nice power straight into the face of Jshep.
Man, that's another one. That might be one of the strongest punches of the fight. I mean, that was nasty. I snapped his head back, and Pryoxis is starting to find his mark, and he's kind of looking like a sniper out here, setting out his punches, or excuse me, setting up his punches, and let's see what he decides to do here in this second part of this third round.
Yeah, and one thing I saw from that previous exchange, we saw Jshep try to go for a 3-move combo, but then gets countered at the last minute to the body. So one thing Pryoxis is looking forward to is like, if you're going to go for all these combos, just make sure you're ready for the combination and the counter, because I'm always going to find an avenue to land my strikes. It's all about what you're going to be doing right after. So he's trying to make his opponent react to his constant strikes.
And he's always staying on an angle too throughout this fight, moving left and right. Ooh, but that stinger from Jshep catches Pryoxis on that straight.
Yeah, and I love that both of these fighters are not really going towards the ropes. Like, if they're backing up, they're only backing up, like, so far where they still have an avenue to work to the left or work to the right. So far, either center of the ring or maybe like the inner outside, if that makes sense, of the ring. Not fully going the outside, the true outside of it.
Yeah, and we saw that in the last fight, too. It seems like the highly touted technical practitioners move so well. They like to keep the pressure. They don't want to give too much of the ring up to their opponent. Ooh, it's a near miss. Pryoxis, and this round we're seeing a little bit more distance between the two of these guys.
Yeah, and I have to say, when you're in these situations, like say you're having like in a UFC situation or in a box. Oh, wait a minute, scratch that. Pryoxis going with a vicious 4-piece, starting the body and going to the head will finish off the round very nicely. But going back to my previous point, Rob, when you're in those situations where you're playing that distance game, do you try to look when your opponent's coming into you, or do you try to force the action, try to go into them and try to enforce the action? Are you waiting for your opponent to come to you?
Yeah, I'm coming in with some feints, but I'm putting that pressure on them. I'm coming in, they're not going to know if I'm coming in and if I'm going to commit to a shot or not. And that's what Pryoxis is so good at, is coming in, overloading your nervous system, and just doing damage. And then out of pocket, he'll randomly throw 4-punch combinations and unexpectedly, he's unorthodox.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, on CopyBox predictions had all 3 rounds to Jshep. So Jshep,
wow,
is working really well with the judges' scorecards. Now it's up to Pryoxis. How will he enter back? And it seems like we're going a little bit back and forth. Jshep getting the advantage of the striking, but now what can defensively Pryoxis do? Because he's getting hit with a lot of shots, but needs to watch out for the body shots as well.
Yeah, I mean, if the judges are giving all the rounds to Jshep, then Pryoxis needs to switch up some sort of strategy. It seems like he's doing so well in there, but just the shots that I guess Jshep is landing, like these power straights or these power jabs, you know, they're adding up.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it with Joooobe, we saw it with BoneDoinWork. Even though you might lose these first couple of rounds, if you keep up the consistent work and have your opponent down, there's an avenue for you to come all the way back and get the victory, whether it's a knockout or a decisive win, even though it might be a majority of a split. So Pryoxis is still very much in the fight, and he's doing very much good work with 1 man to go. But Canelo Alvarez, I'm surprised he's not really attacking the body as much. He's going for the head on. He's at, oh, a vicious 1-2 along with the uppercut. That's a very nice combination for Jshep.
Very nice combos for Jshep, yes. And Prioxis electing to be a little bit more aggressive here and standing his ground more, electing to go in the pocket a little bit more. I mean, seeing yourself down 3 rounds, no matter who you are, it does a little bit to your mental, right? It's like, damn, I'm down 3 rounds. My strategy is obviously not working in the judges' scorecards, so I might have to switch it up a little bit. Could mess him up, could make him, you know, clean up his strat a bit and get those judges marking him in the favor.
Yeah, and when we're going to the end of this round, that's the main thing, right? Prioxis seems like he's doing everything right, but then you see the judges' scorecards, and there's nothing that you could do about it. It's like, I'm landing these combinations, I'm landing these strikes. You can't give me any points for being like a technical fighter. Well, if he keeps it continuing and being consistent with it, then maybe it pays off dividends, because now Jshep is going highs and lows, trying to be a little roller coaster. Well, Prioxis saving if it killed, maybe it works to his benefit. But Jshep, to his credit, he's been answering the bell and be able to answer what Prioxis has been dishing out so far.
Most definitely. He's using Canelo Alvarez, so he's not going to have as much movement, you know, not as much footwork as... Oh, look at that power body by Prioxis. But all these other punches sneaking through by Jshep, those are adding up.
Yeah, absolutely. But the counters will work with so many dividends for Prioxis. Prioxis trying to find the range in the game, and he will again with a nice left hook onto the face of Canelo. Jshep trying to play a little bit of outside, trying to lean back a little bit, but the body shots more in favor of Prioxis, going more for it. We saw that work with Joooobe, but let's see what could play out in this oncoming seconds in the next exchange. But Jshep leaning back a little bit. Oh, throwing his opponent in and leaning with a right straight to the face.
A little bit of confidence here from Jshep. Kind of leaning back, just pops him with that straight. Now standing his ground, Prioxis having a little bit of trouble coming in to the inside of Jshep, trying to throw that straight down the pipe king, but Jshep fighting well.
And you can see he was loading out that power straight to the body of Prioxis, but not really in range. Prioxis doing a nice job with his range game. But so far, everyone leaning back, trying to find a way to just disrupt the cadence, disrupt the time, and make sure everything is not predictable when you're going to his phone booth. We saw the body shot landing for Jshep, but Jshep doing a nice job with his combinations. But right now, it's up with 25 seconds. Will we see a barrage of punches from Prioxis to try to steal the round right here?
It looks like Jshep is really finding his rhythm here, getting real comfortable in this 5th round and just kind of settling into the fight. Moving his head a little bit, being more defensive, and also just kind of sneaking these shots as Prioxis is coming in, as Prioxis is trying to bring the pressure. Kingsley, he's getting tagged up, and it's because, you know, Jshep's playing with house money right now. He's ahead in the fight.
Yeah, but we seen if you know that you're ahead of fight, that confidence goes into your head a little bit, and sometimes you take your foot off the gas, and sometimes you get rocked out of nowhere, and you try to figure out what you could possibly do. But right now, Jshep is now trying to focus on that. He's just focused on the task at hand, and right now, trying to lean back, trying to get his opponent with a jab and a straight. Wow, Prioxis attacking the body a little bit more than his opponent, but trying to find his way to get in there and find his way to get some striking. But so far, taking control of the ring. Oh, vicious body hook onto the back of Canelo. And right now, he's getting some strikes in. So Prioxis doing some damage against his opponent with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, Prioxis in this round is really utilizing the footwork, the stab step, the feints, trying to get in the head, trying to mix up the rhythm here on Jshep, and then he's attacking and stinging him with some big shots. Good job by Prioxis, opening up round number 6 here, Kingsley.
Yeah, and those jabs are working very nicely for Prioxis. He had like a string of 5 punches consistently where he didn't get answered back. So Jshep needs to be very careful that he doesn't let this avalanche become like a huge destructible snowball to his effect. But so far, Jshep finding his way, bless you, trying to find his way with his defense. But again, body shots can only do so much. With 1 minute left, he needs to continually use his combination.
Huge destructive snowball, baby. I like that. Let's go. The avalanche is coming. And yeah, Prioxis is having a great round here. Look at it, tagging him, bang, bang to the body, backs up. And Jshep kind of standing idle here, just kind of eating it, but tags him back. And this fight is just so interesting as it develops here, Kingsley. Back and forth, the adjustments being made. And I feel like Prioxis is taking this round, but I don't know. What do you think, Kingsley?
Yeah, we definitely need like an in review. I need to go like frame by frame to see like what everyone is doing, because this fight is so intriguing. Like, even though we might not see like the full on brawls that we see in previous fights, it's so very technical. Like, you see the backstab, you see the punches right there. What is like the movement to like get into those situations? What's Canelo doing when he slides away and try to go for those body shots? We'll have to find out. But going into, I think, the 7th round, we see it has all been JxShepp 59-55, with Pryoxis only getting the 1 round in the CompuBox predictions, and that was the 5th round. So a lot of work that Pryoxis needs to do in these oncoming rounds.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. He's gonna have to figure out how to make this fight a little dicey, a little messy. Get in there and do some damage, because this, I mean, he looks real good out there. Pryoxis looks amazing, but for whatever reason, the judges are liking what JxShepp's doing more. And what do you think that is, Kingsley? If you had to guess, the body shots, the straight punches, making Pryoxis miss.
Yeah, it's definitely the making Pryoxis miss, but also in these situations, if he gets a counter, that's like a huge stamp that the judge is looking for, because there's a reason why they put like a strobing light flash every time there's a counter.
Right.
It makes such an important difference when you're avoiding your opponent's strikes. But in these situations right here, going these strikes, combinations, this is what Pryoxis needs to do. Able to land to the body, able to go for the head. But I think it's the more of the use of the hooks from JxShepp is working to his benefit. We see Pryoxis, he's working the jab. He's being a true boxer. In real life boxing, that would definitely score in parts. Using jab, 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 and then going for the straight. But in the game, they favor more towards damage with the hooks and the uppercuts, where it changes the direction. But when it comes like that, Pryoxis is able to get back into the game.
Yeah, but while I'm watching the fight and you're talking about the highlight punches, it's usually Pryoxis getting those flash punches, right? At least in this round, he's gotten like 4 of them already. He's moving good. So you got to think Pryoxis is taking this round, but who knows? Something JxShepp doing. He's sneaking these punches in, and he's landing it nicely. The eye test would say Pryoxis, but the judges say JxShepp. So this fight is developing very interesting here, Kingsley.
Yeah, and again, we've seen 10-10 rounds. We've seen majority decisions. We saw split decisions. So even though the CompuBox is saying one thing, it can all change in a matter of opinion with the other 3 judges. So we'll have to find out. Oh, but vicious striking to the body for Pryoxis to end the round. And as we're going to the 8th round, fairly decent on the health and stamina, 97%. You have to think, if you're Pryoxis, you could drain the tank and try to go to bring it all the way back. But we'll have to see. JxShepp, he's doing what he does best, taking his time. Look at the patience. Able to get a jab, able to get the 1-2, bringing his opponent in, and he's landing these combinations, which is working really well with the judges.
Yeah, JxShepp's chilling right now. He's up on the judges' scorecards. He's feeling comfortable. What he's been doing has been working. So, I mean, he just getting more confident and comfortable as he's seeing those judges' scorecards. And now he's just fighting like a little statue, standing in the middle, just tagging him every time he comes in.
And I think that's the 2nd straight time that we saw in this round where Canelo
he let it fly,
just flying around, being the Mexican warrior that he is. JxShepp doing so well with his combinations, able to land the hooks and the straights. And every time Pryoxis just lets down his guard, he's getting hit with a 3-piece combination. Now, while he has his opponent to the corner, this is where Pryoxis, this is where he has to be in his back. He needs to find a way to attack his opponent. Don't let him get out of the corner. He needs to, but a double jab, but get him out, but he stays in the corner. I don't know if I like the strategy from JxShepp, but JxShepp is trying to be more of a Venus flytrap here, Rob.
Yeah, we saw it earlier in the previous fight too, someone else standing in the corner, but this is very interesting and entertaining. JxShepp, yeah, it's just kind of chilling in the corner, standing there like, come on, baby, let's go. Kind of moving, still confident, fighting, knows he's ahead, and Pryoxis doing a good job kind of coming forward, snapping his head back, land some punches, but he's got to be careful because JxShepp is talented, Kingsley. So, look at those shots right there. Pryoxis on fire in this round.
Venomous in his striking, but now it's going a little back and forth. And I think that woke JxShepp up. He's like, 50 seconds, you want to go? Let's go. Uppercuts, landing with the right hook, and that's why I thought the move would be from Canelo. Just go for the uppercuts. When you're going that close, it works. It's open up for everyone, but with the straights, trying to answer back. Good work for both competitors. And again, JxShepp working well with uppercuts, working well with the hooks, getting into his rhythm. Was in the corner a little bit, but Pryoxis, he still could put in some more work.
Yeah, we're gonna have to remember we're gonna look back at round number 9 after this to see who won that round. I mean, you think Pryoxis won that round, but who knows, Kingsley? Yeah. And here we go, round number 8, because we're in round number 9 now. A little bit of lag, but it's not us.
But we're good. It's
We're good.
round 9 right now. So you have this round and another round. So it's up to Pryoxis. He needs to put his best foot forward. But again, counters like that from Jshep is working so well so far. But Jshep working the combinations. He's pulling it. He's trying to go in his flow state. But Pryoxis, he's working the jabs. He's working the straights. Those are very good striking that he has right there. Trying to take the fight, but again, the range from Canelo working so well in his favor. And again, some counters.
And now you're seeing Pryoxis standing inside of the pocket on Canelo, and Jshep's making Pryoxis pay here. He's throwing some bombs, but Pryoxis got to do this. The block is low. Left hook lands. It's getting dicey in there.
Well, to Pryoxis' credit, he's learned a lot. He was able to get 2 counters onto his opponent with a left hook, but can he do it again? He's finding the phone booth. This is where you need to make your move right here. If he's going to stay close, you got to punish him like that right there. With a nice right straight to the face. 119 left in the 9th round as we're closer and closer towards the 10th and final round. So far, Pryoxis trying to get a little bit closer, trying to touch the opponent's face a little bit, but Jshep answering back. We were trying to get a nice uppercut, but a power shots to the body. Pryoxis is not going to land fully cleanly. This could be anybody's round right here. It's still up for grabs.
It is, but I think at this point, Pryoxis needs to get a knockdown. He needs to get a 10-8, and it would be so sweet if he could do that in this round, but it just seems like the defense of Jshep is too strong at this point of the fight, and he's going to have to finish him in round number 10 here, Kingsley.
Yeah, and Jshep with a nice straight and nice counter. Oh, but a counter answering back from Pryoxis with 7 seconds left, trying to go for a power straight. Not fully landing, attacking the body, and we're just going to end it where we started, away from each other and getting ready for the 10th and final round. To each other's credit, Rob, health and stamina-wise has to be very good for both of these gentlemen.
Yes, definitely both are doing very well in that category. But look at the judges. Round number 8, they gave that to Jshep, and they gave that last round to Pryoxis. So who knows where the judges' heads are at. Someone's got to finish this fight, and Pryoxis, I think, needs to come for the kill to get the win.
Yeah, and a nice sneaky left hook with a little bit of power onto Canelo. Canelo on the back foot a little bit. You see Pryoxis, he's going in now. He's going a little bit aggressive, and Jshep is obliging with the destruction and the violence. Right now, we're seeing combinations landing, jabs, straights coming in. Combinations are flying for Pryoxis. He knows the pressure. With 2 minutes left, this is where he needs to put the foot on the gas.
And he is putting the foot on the gas. He is all over Jshep right now, but Jshep is responding so well. He's firing missiles, and Pryoxis is launching missiles back, and it's World War III in there. They're just bombing the crap out of each other. This is craziness, and this is a wild pace.
Yeah, call him Brad Pitt, because this might as well be zombies in the ring in World War Z. But so far, combinations landing for Jshep, able to land that uppercut. But Pryoxis still moving forward. Nice left hook into a right hook. Call it Fight Night from Middles. Gets another power straight from the from Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard with a jab. Pryoxis going forward. Under 1 minute left. Here we go. This is where Pryoxis does his business. Can he move forward? Can he strike forward with a nice 1 and 2? Jshep trying to oblige, trying to get back to his opponent, but not really answering the bell.
Pryoxis all over him right now, but Jshep standing strong. Left hand lands, flash, left hand, right hand, left hand. Pryoxis is letting it fly, ladies and gentlemen, but Jshep is not going to be stopped. Oh, but the right hand, Pryoxis, they're just throwing at this point. Yes.
We're in for a bump. Last 10 seconds, it will go to the judges' scorecards, and it lands with a bang as both guys go for a win. Pryoxis. But we will see what the judges score, and it's a draw! It's actually a draw! What? Oh. We're getting word from the back, because it's a draw. This is the first time we're dealing with this, a new standard. It will be 1 point each. And look at the judges' scorecards. 96-94. Judge number 2 with a top draw position, and then the first judge win for JxShepp Gaming. God, I wish we could see a run back of this. Just do 1 round to win it all. But it's crazy to see what the Georgia's scorecards was in that whole situation there, Rob, because again, we said in the beginning, even though it may look like Jshep was winning the beginning rounds, it could change in a matter of the all 10 rounds, and we could have a split or a draw.
Yeah, because I think that's only one of the judges' scorecards, right? And you don't get to see the other ones, or is that just a prediction? I'm not even really sure. But yeah, you can't go by the judge. Okay, it's like a prediction. So yeah, you know, you got Jshep got pretty comfortable in those last 2 rounds, and he was just kind of standing on his back foot, and Pryoxis kind of coming in, pop, 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 pop. And then in that last round, Pryoxis just throwing everything at him. They're both just tagging, but I think the volume from Pryoxis was more, and he earned that draw. I mean, that was a wild fight. Who are we gonna pick for fight of the night now, Kingsley? With that fight, there was 3 fights that were so good tonight.
Well, definitely, I have my top 3 that absolutely like shocked me. I think Pryoxis Jshep definitely earns a nomination along with I think what was it, Joooobe versus FightNightsFinest. That was a sick fight. BoneDoinWork coming back against Wordlife in that whole situation. It's tough. I'm leaning towards Joe.
I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, yo. Mine is that fight right there, Pryoxis versus Jshep. Yeah, just the firefights at the end, like BoneDoinWork versus Wordlife was so good. But I don't know, that last fight was just insane, man. And the fact that it ended in a tie, that's my vote. What was your vote?
Boxing match wise, I agree with you, but the best moments, I feel like the high stakes and high reward, I think with Joooobe and FightNightsFinest put on a clinic with both guys getting knockdowns, and I feel like they deserve a nomination. So hopefully we could split the pot, maybe, or do we have to come to a consensus? Do we get word in the back? Do we have to come to? Okay, we have to come to a consensus. So I will say for you, Rob, the way that it was a great boxing match. Boxing match wise, I think I'm going to go
Kingsley,
with Pryoxis.
we're going with you. Yo, Kingsley, you have to pick this one.
I'll go with Pryoxis versus Jshep because it went to a draw. That boxing match was so sick. I had to give to it.
All right, we've decided.
Yes.
Congratulations,
Prioxis and Jshep for winning fight of the night. But KO goes to who was it? EyeGameYouWatch, being the only one to get the knockout. Congratulations on them. Hopefully we can say kudos for every single one of these fighters for putting on such an amazing card, because every single one of these fighters came up and showed out and put all their heart on the line. I mean, Rob, this was such a great card to start off the Undisputed season with.
Oh, it was so exciting. Every fight was different in so many different ways, and it just shows like the different styles colliding with each other and the developments in the fight. The storylines I noticed are, you know, in UFC, there's not as long of a storyline. There's not as many rounds to make adjustments. Boxing is a little bit different, where it's being written before your eyes. You're just seeing these guys, these 2 high-level competitors trying to figure each other out. And as we got through the card, it just got more and more technical, and it was just beautiful to watch. It just seems like they always bring in the Esports Fight League, and just amazing. Do we have to pick performance of the night? You want to pick performance of the night? I think we got to do that too. Okay, we're good.
Okay,
all good. We're all good.
We'll talk about it later, but again,
we're all good.
These fights were amazing. We got our fight tonight, Prioxis versus Jshep. And again, this is only 1 week out of 7, so you're gonna get this every single Sunday for the next 6 weeks. So be sure to tune in to the ESFL on Twitch, on YouTube. Check out our socials. Sign into our Discord. Sign up for future fights in the beginning, and be sure to check out that new title because that looks sick. But before we go, Rob, where can they find you on the socials?
You find me at Bruce Lee Rob 1 at Twitter, or Bruce Lee Rob on Twitch.
Yeah, and you can find me at Twitter, King AHCK, or on Twitch, King BKR316. A lot of good stuff. And I know, be sure to check out Rob's, because hopefully he plays Diablo 4 and he gets to mess with his classes a little bit.
Let's go. What a show.
Yeah, what a show. What an event. Thank you guys for coming here, watching some amazing fights. We'll see you guys at the next fight night. This has been the ESFL. I've been Kingsley. That's been Rob. We'll see you guys next fight night. Peace out.
Peace out.
Going out nice and fast. Already Pry. Oh, beautiful counter to the takedown. Thank you for joining us tonight.
The disadvantage was Zayef, but then he.
Waiting too much on Trixie. Nice shooting, but turning.
Watch watching on Twitch, watching on YouTube, watching for helping me well tonight. I know the UFC isn't on right now, but guess what? The virtual octagon is here.